Oh my god. Hello there, Gum Gum. Whoa, what the fuck? What?
To be completely honest with you guys, I couldn't find anything corroborating this story besides a few TikTok videos. I just think that the story here and the moral is very important, so I'm going to cover it regardless. This is a sad TikTok that I got tagged in that features 3 images of a man referred to as Skolo with the caption, POV, you're an insecure teenager, you end up expanding your palate too much and you end up deformed. This story, from what I can tell, originated on Discord involving this young man, Skolo, who was very interested.
Do I still do coaching? Not really right now. I'm, sort of a little too busy for it. Yeah, I heard, the price of PC RAM going up because of AI bullshit. Australia wants to tighten gun laws even further now. Yeah, like that's gonna do anything. You know, it's funny. One of the shooters was on a terrorist watch list. So, the guy was on a terrorist watch list. The police didn't do anything to stop the guy. But yeah, banning guns would solve the issue, because 3D printers don't exist. Fucking stupid. Australia is just a gay, retarded country, dude. It is so fucking gay and retarded. Like, by the way, they all know these gun bans don't do anything. They just do it because politicians are useless fucking idiots who are only concerned with their careers, and they're totally fine with taking your rights away for no benefit, just so it looks like they're doing something. Booty come doing $2 AIDS. Let me see.
That just.
Yeah, this might be stupid. We'll watch that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Booty Chem.
In looks maxing and I believe black pill. For those that are not aware, looks maxing / black pill are ideologies / activities that have really taken off over the past couple of years. Looks maxing is exactly what it sounds like. It's maximizing your looks, which by itself doesn't sound really bad. You make sure to take care of yourself, work out, proper hygiene, etc. But it's when you combine this with black pill and its ideology that it becomes a problem. Entire, might I add, toxic argument is that looks are everything. If you look better, you're going to be treated better, and as such, people will treat their looks as though it's the holy grail. It's everything that the people in this community strive to be. In any event, according to this story, Skolo placed a lot of trust in this community, so he purchased himself a palate expander, which is something people use to expand their palate when their teeth are overcrowded.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Quite a few positive before and afters online, so he probably thought and self-diagnosed himself here. Apparently, he did not listen to a dentist that told him he shouldn't do this, and he expanded his palate too much, 24 millimeters, which is around 1 inch total, which supposedly is why his teeth are the.
You said you would be on in 10 minutes. It's been over half an hour. VG, what gives?
I'm sorry, Dodo. Not feeling great. I didn't get like any sleep last night. every like 30 minutes I would wake up because of the pain in my arms, and I also didn't eat anything all day. And I'm taking a pretty high dose of hydrochlorothiazide to get rid of the water retention. It's also not making me feel great. So I am right now. So my bad. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
The way that they are. Again, this is an uncorroborated story, but the point still stands. Do not place that much stake into looks maxing and black pill.
Like these, you're just gonna fuck yourself up with these, like, stupid things that are, like, any kind of surgery type thing. Seriously stupid. Ronald donated $3. Let me see.
4 months after 17-year-old Sivan Wilson of Pontiac killed in White Lake Township. His family says the charges have them confused.
I think the way they went about it, it could have been done better.
24-year-old Dayton Napton charged with manslaughter, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, and 2 counts of felony firearm for the death of Wilson and shooting another teen in the leg. Wilson's family says they want Napton charged with murder.
It doesn't make sense that it wasn't done out of malice, and for them to charge him with manslaughter when...
Did this fucking kid break into somebody's house and then they're charging him with manslaughter?
Everything in the report is suggesting that it was malicious intent.
Back in July, prosecutors say Wilson, along with 6...
Bro, like, you know what's fucked too? I love how they say, oh, he was just a teenager. This is like a big-ass football player. And he's breaking into somebody's fucking house. Like, he looks like a grown fucking man.
Others broke into Napton's detached garage. Napton coming out with a 9mm. Prosecutors say firing 2 shots through a windowless, locked garage door. Then, as the group ran away, prosecutors say Napton shot at them 5 more times, ran back inside, reloaded his gun, and came back outside.
Devon was running away and got shot. I know.
Oh, those poor criminals. Oh, just let them do whatever they want.
Never heard anything about him getting shot in the garage.
But prosecutors say Wilson hit and killed from a bullet fired through the locked door.
We had a really close connection, so it hurts a lot. I would have never expected this to happen to him. He has so many dreams and aspirations.
So many
He was breaking into somebody's fucking house.
dreams and aspirations. He was doing home invasions with 5 of his friends.
Here he is in the football uniform. You see what he looks like.
He's a good kid. Just doing a couple.
Fucking retarded, man. Imagine having some fucking, like literal gang members commit a home invasion and you shoot at them and then you get charged with fucking manslaughter. We're going to get to a point where you own nothing, you have no rights, and you're just going to like have to let people gang rape you, because if you do anything, you're just going to get thrown in jail and then get gang raped again.
They're very busy in Pennsylvania combating hair racism.
Your hair is now a protected class. Basically, you cannot discriminate certain hair types or textures because...
Okay, well, this is sensible. Like, people, whatever. Thanks for the donation, though, Ronald.
We had a Cybertruck sale for $61,000.
Yeah, folks,
Cybertrucks are knocking on the 50s. I'm not saying it's a good deal. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying this is a market report. I am simply reporting the truth. This is a year old, by the way.
Current Cybertruck offers from Tesla new. $729 a month.
That's...
Let's face it, liberals are only defending this dead kid because he's black. So much for freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah, if it was a white kid, nobody'd give 2 fucking shits. I can guarantee you if that kid was white, that homeowner probably wouldn't have gotten charged with anything. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
It's way too much. This is going to be 35 in 18 months.
Can you imagine the demographic that's going to end up with these things? Is going to be crazy.
It's Hummer H2s. This is the Hummer H2 of the modern era. It is very striking and sells to a certain person, and then it depreciates like crazy, and it loses its strikingness and its luster and its excitement. I mean, you see these now, and you feel a little sorry for the people driving them, right? The Cybertruck is knocking on the door of the 50.
Cybertruck is so fucking terrible, dude. It's fucking nuts how shit that car is.
Oh, he's all good now?
No. It's like way worse.
Oh, he's worse? What
It's like way worse. It's like cutouts of Joe Rogan, like paper cut. I'll show you right now.
Oh, he's like,
what's Liver King doing?
Yeah, Liver King's.
One thing crazy is one pupil is like way bigger than the other one at all times.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know what that means.
A demon.
David Bowie inside of him.
He's got parasites. He has parasites.
Wait.
And there's some type of parasite demon connection that I don't know anything about. I just know I just know that it is, because that's what's happening here.
Also breaking news, VG Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks is defending Candace Owens' Charlie Kirk assassination conspiracy.
Do you believe that Tyler
No way.
Robinson murdered your husband? Yes, I do. Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Charlie Kirk's wife is a fucking crazy bitch, by the way. Like, this woman is fucking unhinged lunatic.
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not.
Like, she's fucking
Barry Weiss
weird.
hosted Erica Kirk on a CBS town hall to the main perpetrator of those Jank. Your 2 cents here.
As usual, this is super weird. No, the Charlie Kirk assassination is not simple at all. Wait till I tell you about
it. Is very simple.
The absurdities that the authorities are saying about Tyler Robinson and his clothes and where and how he changed his clothes. Barry Weiss, a massive Israel supporter, brings on Erica Kirk to tell everyone, remember, everybody shut up and don't question.
This is fucking crazy. Like, what? They're actually becoming this anti-Semitic that they're like supporting these anti-Israel conspiracy theories over the Charlie Kirk shooting?
To honor that, okay? I can only honor that if Erica is more explicit.
Meeting today. Forward to this discussion. No word on how that.
So people at CBS were like, oh, you know, David Ellison's got to realize this was a mistake to put Barry Weiss in charge here, because she's the editor-in-chief. She's not supposed to be on camera. She's many times with Epstein. Did he kill himself or was it suicide? Well, are the guards on duty? Were the cameras working? The camera's not working. The brainwashed your whole life. The government is your friend.
Literally every piece of evidence, both forensic and circumstantial, shows Barry Weiss was the shooter. He also admitted to it to multiple people, including, well, I don't think he admitted it to the police. He admitted it to his father, which is how he got caught. Like, holy fuck, dude. Like, the Young Turks are just going nuts. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Son Goku donate till there's natty question mark. Let me see. Gut reaction, I'm thinking no. Let me see. Feeling like he's a TRT, bro. Something about it. Well, he beat my PR. You got 10. My best is 9. Something tells me he's very likely a TRT, bro. Could be natural, but I'm feeling like TRT. Does he claim to be natural? Could be natural, but I don't know. I'm just feeling like it's TRT. Also base, let me see.
Virgin Christian here, ex-Muslim, born and raised in Iran. So you have to listen to me. I have the perfect solution for y'all. If the Western countries and all the liberals don't open up their fucking eyes, what happened in Sydney, Australia can happen anywhere else, just like it's been happening in the past few decades, and y'all just wanted to ignore it and be like, it's not about Islam. It is about Islam. It's written in their scripture, in their hadiths and in Quran. Look at this. It's not me saying this. It's written. This is evidence. So if you want to argue, you have to be well knowledgeable. You have to be well equipped with the right knowledge, okay? So study this. And let me tell you something. Islam destroyed the country that I was born in, Iran. Iran got destroyed by Muslims, by Shia Muslims, right? Every single country surrounding Iran is not really doing good. Just look at them.
Yeah. Literally everybody who escaped these Muslim countries will tell you this. Literally everybody. Oh, Islamophobia, diversity is our strength, la 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 la, like nobody cares. It's just fucking retarded. It's just some white guilt cuck bullshit. Thanks for the donation, Son Goku.
I've been getting strong and more defined ever since I'd notice most girls are just assholes or so dumb. It's like the more masculine I become, the more women are assholes to me, only very few that actually appreciate me.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be looking for it more, like I think you're probably just noticing it more because you know what to look out for, versus them treating you worse because you're bigger and stronger or something. But yeah, there's a lot of assholes out there. Thanks for the donation, Strong Vegetable.
Hey VG, do you ever make vegan waffles? They're very good. Also, were you ever into Yu-Gi-Oh?
I have made waffles before. They weren't very good. I had a waffle press at one point, and yeah, I never got good at making waffles. I do love a good waffle, though. I'm more of a waffle man than a pancake man. I think waffles are superior. I fucking love vegan chicken and waffles. Fried vegan chicken and waffles are just so goddamn good, man. Who would have figured maple syrup pairs so well with fried chicken and waffles? It's great. And no, I was never really into Yu-Gi-Oh! I did watch the series just because, like, you know, television, so it would be on before shows that I wanted to watch. But I never was, like, into it. I always thought it was stupid. Thanks for the donation, though, E-Nation.
You are stopped by 3 gay rapist black men in the street. You can, A, surrender and get raped by gay black guys. B, defend yourself and still get raped by gay black guys in prison.
We're literally headed towards that. What these, like, dumbass politicians don't understand is when they do this crap, And there's like this weird corruption, and like when there's this stupid corruption that ends up happening and kind of racial and political bias, you're just going to cause civil unrest. And like when enough people realize like they're living in a two-tiered society where certain people get like special rights and privileges, and like you just get fucked over in the most unfair way, people are just going to end up revolting and rejecting the system, and you're just going to end up with a bigger fucking issue than some like thing like racial justice or whatever the fuck they're concerned with that's motivating them to do this stupid shit. So yeah, it's fucking dumb. Like you're just going to end up seeing race riots again if this sort of shit just continues. So, yeah, it's fucked. Thanks for the donation, though, Pinor.
Agreed, VG. They are quickly touring into the liberal version of Fox News.
Honestly, like, I think they're worse than Fox News. It's like Alex Jones. I wouldn't even compare it to Fox News. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Pugman donated $2. Can you look at this workout? Is it good or is he stupid? Oh, hey Pugman, haven't seen you in a while. Let me take a look.
So, I need to get back into shape. I don't know if you guys can notice, but right now we're gonna work on. This is what I looked on YouTube. So this is what we do. I have a new workout that I started doing today. Is just do this without jumping. Seems to work.
Yeah, that is not adequate exercise.
There was another one, I think it's this one, yeah. I worked the man boobs. I shrank it that much last time.
Yeah, that's not that's not doing anything. You need to like lift weights and maybe do some cardio. Like at least walk, but ideally like ride a bike. But that is not a good workout, and it's stupid. That's literally not exercise. Thanks for the donation, though, Pugman.
Liberals denying that the Quran incites violence is like Christians denying that the Bible promotes slavery as well as polygamy.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. It's funny how it is the norm for these people to argue the Bible promotes violence against women, slavery, genocide. But then when the Quran explicitly states, kill non-believers, oh, you're taking things out of context. Muslims don't really believe that. The Quran's peaceful. It doesn't really promote violence. You're just Islamophobic. Like, we live in crazy, dumb wacko world, man. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Underrated actor, Hollywood wasted an opportunity.
Let me see.
Do you know who I am? I am the most evil man on this planet. I am Klaus Schwab. You will eat the bugs, you will live in the pod, and you will be a part of my new world order.
I don't think I ever saw this video that Frank made. This is hard to watch. It's like a level of cringe where it's genuinely uncomfortable. Like, cringe compilations are usually funny, and it's like, wow, this is retarded. But this is like true, actual cringe, where you genuinely do not want to watch it.
I have been dreaming about this moment for a very, very long time. When I founded the World Economic Forum in 1971, I had a very clear vision. In less than 10 years, by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy about it. A world where we are all equals, or at least where everyone thinks they are equal. In order to overcome our debts, we must give up ownership and rent. There will be no world superpowers. All countries must be seen as equal. Meat will be an occasional treat. It is not good for us or our environment. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. We must welcome all walks of life into our very own. There must be a global price on carbon to save our planet. There is no other way. We must.
That's literally the maximum I can tolerate. That's bad. He actually wanted to become an actor. There's a reason that didn't work out for him. Thanks for the donation, Q. It's got a few new shorts.
I get a lot of messages about how to prepare some of the sourdough product on Frankie's Free Range Meat, and what I like doing with the bread is I let it thaw out overnight on the counter, and then for the meal I just toast it in a pan with a little bit of coconut oil on medium heat until it's brown on both sides. Okay, so after the bread is toasted, I flip it back on the first side. And what makes this really delicious restaurant quality is I put some of the Frankie's steak sauce just in the pan on the side. And then I'm going to use the bread to soak it up. It's almost like dipping your bread in the highest quality, sauce or beef stock. And then I'll eat this on the side of my meal with whatever protein I'm having. Today it's some pork sirloin.
That doesn't look good.
Some of you might not know, on Frankie's Free Range Meat, we also have the highest quality and most affordable meat for your favorite friend. We just added the premium beef pet food, which
that looks like it would kill anything that eats it. I don't even know if that's good for, like, flies.
Includes pasture-raised egg yolks and goat milk.
Yeah, dogs should not be consuming egg yolks.
For added nutrition.
Or goat milk.
Very high in B vitamins, that cholesterol that makes the dog's coat so healthy.
It does not make a dog's coat healthy.
The omega fatty acids in the egg yolk. We also have our regular beef pet food, which is a little more affordable, has a lot of beef organs in there. And then we have our raw pet chew bones, everything grass.
You do not want to give an animal bones. You're just going to cause them to perforate their stomach and kill them.
Fed, raw, and I promise you it is by far the most affordable online for the quality. Anything that comes close, even the grain-fed feedlot meats, they're still a similar price to ours, and it is amazing quality, as fresh as possible. We ship it right to your door, no added charges. Check it out.
Yeah, that is certifiably bad for your pet.
Agreed. Honestly, these liberals in power are trying to promote people of color nationalism by giving people of color special rights over whites by letting them do whatever they want. I can't believe him saying this, but they are giving white nationalists point.
Well, yeah, and that's why you're seeing the popularity of these far right-wing movements and parties skyrocket. They're just fucking retarded, dude. We're run by literal retards. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
We make the highest quality raw beef jerky on Frankie's Strange Meat with nothing added. This is like, this is like paper.
Yeah, I don't want to eat paper made out of like dead, rotting animal flesh, so that does not seem appetizing.
Really, really thin. As I said, nothing added. No salt, no pepper. We just slice raw beef, put it in the machine, dry it out. It's actually cold smoked, so it's a very low
That could not possibly taste good.
temperature smoke. We dry it out for a few hours, and then we smoke it. We smoke it for a little bit, just to give it a little bit of smoke flavor, because if it's smoked the whole time, way too much. This stuff is so good.
I can guarantee you that is not good. That would taste like shit.
Like paper jerky, so tender. All these background noises, we're making sausage, and these fridges keep kicking on, but for plain raw beef, this is way more delicious and way more approachable than actually eating raw meat.
Fucking idiot.
Is your promiscuity destroying your health? You know, just like a person coughing next to you on a bus or train, you know, being in an enclosed area with dozens of sick people can make you sick, the same thing applies to having sex, interacting with someone. And a good analogy for this is going to a restaurant and having a dish. You know, how many ingredients are in that dish, how many chefs touched each of those ingredients, and it magnifies and magnifies and magnifies. So if you just have one partner that's as healthy as you, follows a similar diet, takes similar medications, you know, you're good to go. That's the ideal. But, you know, I mean, I've had women comment on my stories, and I've talked about this in the past, where they said, oh yeah, I remember one time this guy ejaculated in me and I felt really, really sick. And that's kind of on the higher end of this. You know, if you're on the receiving end of a male, there's a much larger DNA transfer, bacterial transfer, bodily fluid transfer than just kissing or making out with someone. But even that saliva, even just breathing in the air of someone, even just kissing them, there is a significant bacterial transfer that can make you feel, but that can make you sick, especially if that person is jabbed or is on certain medications, and their body will be giving off things pertinent to their lifestyle. And again, if someone's unhealthy, if someone's following a crappy diet, if they're doing all sorts of drugs, if they're doing really bad things, and the person's very sick and unhealthy, that can transfer to you. And it's magnified if you're very promiscuous. So, and this gets really crazy, because if you have multiple sexual partners, you know, a lot of girls brag about having a roster and, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, who knows how many people. But even if you're only interacting with 2 or 3 people, what about them? You know, out of those 2 or 3 people, how many people are they interacting with? And it magnifies. So if you have 10 sexual partners, and each of those sexual partners have 3 sexual partners, and then how many sexual partners do their sexual partners have? I'm assuming you get the picture. You can understand how it magnifies and it gets crazy really quickly. And the more factors involved, you know, just by having sex with, you know, a few people in a week.
Yeah, Frank used to work as a gay prostitute. He literally admitted on camera that he would get paid to have sex with men.
you end up exposing yourself to dozens and dozens and dozens of other people because of the people that person interacted with. And the thing I like to do, and what I've shown people before on some of my videos, is even just after going out to a restaurant or being in public, I usually do like a nasal iodine flush.
Tufano. Okay, well, he's retarded.
"46,000 deadly terror attacks in the name of Islam since 9/11 in over 60 countries. I wish I could travel back in time and torture Muhammad to death. Peace and blessings be upon him, of course."
Yeah. Religion of peace. People, just have no fucking clue, dude. How many terror attacks will it take for people to be like, maybe Islam isn't peaceful? Like, 9/11 happened. We're living in a post-9/11 world. And we still have people arguing that Islam is peaceful. Just fucking retarded. Thanks for the donation, Sigma Carrot.
"This girl I've been seeing tells me today that she's upset with a guy for standing her up. She says he is just a friend, but she would get upset if I talked to other women. WTF is it with chicks and double standards? Literally every girl I've dated."
Women, especially these days, are unhinged fucking lunatics, dude. Just so many of them are fucking crazy. Entitled. Like I was talking about this earlier on, when I was having like a debate and Q&A panel on the Gnosis stream. Women have gotten to a point where they don't mature past like the age of 9. So the kind of ridiculous, weird, entitled shit that you'd expect from a 9-year-old, you're seeing adult women act like that. So yeah. Thanks for the donation though, Masashi Blade.
"Do you think the men in marriage who don't get divorced and say they are happy, are mostly suffering from Stockholm Syndrome? It seems like being forced by contract to stay with a person would also make the relationship worse vibe-wise."
There's a pretty good likelihood, yeah. What's funny is you'll find a lot of stories where men are genuinely pretty happy and content with their relationship. Like nothing's going too bad. Like it might not be amazing, but it's like, I got someone to, come home to. Like we have sex enough, and it's going well. Like not too many fights and shit. And then out of nowhere, like the woman wants a divorce and like demanding money and spousal support for no fucking reason, and like it just comes as a complete shock to them. So if they are happy, then I guess they're happy until they're not. So I think there's a lot of dudes who might say that for a variety of reasons. They might genuinely be happy. They might say that as a cope. They might say that publicly because they think it'll only cause like more problems if they say they're not. And I know there for sure are a lot of dudes who stay in those relationships because they know if they try to get out of it, with the way marriage laws are set up, like the cost of leaving the relationship is just so high that it would like completely financially destroy them, that they just stay in the relationship anyway and just tolerate it. So the sunken cost thing. So I think it's fucking stupid. At this point in the modern age, there is no fucking reason whatsoever for a man to get married. It's nothing but a liability. And considering how women are these days, why would you ever give a spoiled, immature child the ability to completely ruin your life and livelihood at a whim? So it's just dumb. I'd say your best option for a man if you want a long-term relationship is, one, don't get married, and have your partner sign a cohabitation agreement where they can't claim any of your property or income after a separation. So if you're living with somebody, like you're still fucked, even if you're not married, because there's common law relationships, and women can claim the same benefits as in a marriage. It's insane. That happened to a rapper. What was it, Wiz Khalifa or something? His girlfriend, who he was living with for like 2 years, they broke up, and then she tried to sue him for like millions of dollars. Because of like some common law fucking thing. It's just insane. So yeah, if you ever move in with somebody, especially if you have money, sign a cohabitation agreement. It's gotten so ridiculous, dude, where you literally have to go through lawyers just to like have a live-in girlfriend. Thanks for the donation, though, Ronald.
And honestly, the popularity of white nationalist ideas skyrocketing is just a horrifying thing to even imagine. I fear for the future of our species.
Yeah. It's not great. Things aren't going great right now. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Honestly, some children these days are more mature than women.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Oh, he's got cutouts of Joe Rogan?
Yeah, in some sort of, I can't tell if this is the back of a truck or I
Did he
don't know.
make, before we start, did he make like a stupid amount of money, or is it gone, or is it lies? Like, I don't really know what this guy is like.
I don't know.
Someone said he made like $500 million.
He didn't make, I don't think he could have made 500 million, but he was viral and selling supplements. Is he Ancestral Supplements? Just type what is Liver King's supplement brand?
And he was famous for not being on any gear, or he said he wasn't. People respected him for that, and they looked up to him.
I don't think that's.
It was.
I think he was swearing that he wasn't on any steroids.
Did people give him that? Is he
Liver King net worth?
Ancestral Supplements? Because Ancestral Supplements is huge. Ancestral Tenets, Ancestral Lifestyle.
I had Ancestral Supplements. I had
so did I.
Were they good?
It wasn't bad.
Like, really?
I don't know. I couldn't be able to tell you.
Like you, after like a one bag of it, you like started to taste it. You're like, oh, okay.
Heart and Soil? No.
What's Liver King's?
Is the desiccated thyroid banned yet?
Brand. No, it's not.
Oh, it's probably good.
I think it is good. It certainly is good. Have you had your levels checked?
Why would you eat an animal's thyroid gland for thyroid hormone when they make thyroid hormone? And by the way, thyroid hormone is dirt fucking cheap. Like literally pennies. And it's a medication that works if you don't produce enough thyroid hormone. Why would you take a more expensive supplement that doesn't do anything? Sengoku donated $2. A lot of people look at the statistics of Gen Z men who aren't dating and assume they're lonely, but I think a significant portion of them are choosing to stay single to protect their peace. Well, yeah. Like, I was dealing with this when I was younger. Most girls are fucking assholes. Like, complete fucking cunts. Trying to date when I was in my teens was just a fucking nightmare. Like, it's shocking how fucking antisocial and bitchy teenage girls are. So, when I'm hearing stuff about like so many men and like boys not having any interest in dating, it's like when I was that age, it's like it would be understandable, and like apparently it's only gotten worse. And even when I was in my 20s, like some of the girls I tried going out with, like they're fucking manipulative as fuck and just crazy. So yeah, if you have access to like fucking porn, like that would be preferable than dealing with most of these girls. Thanks for the donation though, Sengoku.
I used to hate talking to kids, but 15 years of dating women made me not mind it so much.
Yeah. I used to train like kids hockey teams, and a lot of those kids were really cool. I don't mind certain kids, like if they come from a good household and stuff, and they're not like retarded bratty assholes. Like a lot of kids are just nice, you know, they're just cool. And like, you know, all they want to do is watch cartoons, play video games, and like play sports, you know. So they're just pretty chill, easy to get along with. Thanks for the donation, Nina. Aliardo donated $2. Let me see.
Stuff, Aaron. You're not staying here tonight. Well, it's cold out, man. Should have thought of that before disrespecting Tofu. Hit the road. Unreal. He really kicked me out. Guess the Bugatti is the hotel tonight. These seats look fancy, but they don't lay flat. My spine's already negotiating terms. Good night, I guess. Morning came way too fast. Stuff, Aaron.
If only.
Hello?
Afternoon. Name's Gig. I live down in the marsh.
You busy? You're a blue swamp monster.
Correct. Also vegan.
Heard there's a festival in town. Thought maybe you'd like to come along. I mean, yeah, okay. Give me 30 seconds to grab a coat.
Nice. I'll wait.
So, how long you been vegan?
Since I met a cow in 09. We chatted. Changed my life.
That is, hello?
Imagine if real life was like that.
It's at 8 o'clock. It's 8:05. Should be any minute now. Still nothing. 35 after. Come on, man. Wait. Canceled? Oh, come on. Looks like no stream tonight. All right, I'm out. It's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
What? No. No, you can't cancel on me. We told everyone it was tomorrow. I set up the alerts. Oh, my God. Why would he do this? I planned the whole thing. 4,000 people waiting, and now it's just gone. What?
Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Aliardo.
Unfortunately, no, and I know that they're bad.
I'll go with you for the test.
I'm down.
The one in Garden State. If you want to go get those tests, those.
Oh, there's like something convenient there, really?
Yep.
Let me know, because I am. God,
Someone saying. Well, I think there was a lawsuit because he was claiming that he was this and that. And
why are we like having trouble figuring out what his brand is?
Unreal. 310.
Yeah, 310 million.
Okay.
5.3 million.
And he's got a little bit of ancestry in him, maybe.
He might. Yeah,
might have some inconvenient ancestry.
He might be. She looks like a little sort of guy.
Brian Johnson.
Oh, Johnson. Brian Smith.
You had trouble finding it too, because
No, I couldn't find it. He might have been selling 100 million a year in supplements though.
Well, let's watch. Yeah, this is.
Also, while we're on the subject of humanity going downhill, get this eye shit is getting out of control and YouTube is still promoting it.
Why does your belly look like a balloon?
Because there's a baby inside me.
A baby? Is it a parrot baby? Am I going to be a father?
No, it's your brother.
Am I a big brother?
That one's kind of stupid. I like the AI cat videos. Those are good. Some of the AI videos are really good. Like the ones Gig gave me with Aaron P. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
This is
See
what
how he's doing with
This
that.
is what's fun, or maybe sad.
He's probably doing worse than the other guy.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
That's Seth Rogen.
Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you think is important?
Is he like a shooting range?
Yeah.
He's about to tell you it's a big one.
Whoa.
Not really that I can think of. Okay.
But you just thought of it.
The guy looks like he's from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Or needs to be arrested or whatever.
He's got a color printer.
I don't know him. It's the weirdest part about this is like he seems to think that we have some sort of a problem with each other. I just know I might have brought him up a couple times in the podcast, but
That is Seth Rogen down there.
nothing about the guy. It sounds like he has basically traveled from his residence to Austin. Yeah.
Would you turn the audio off? I think that's one of those
Up?
off.
Huh?
That's one of those conversations that you're worse off if you try to follow it. Yeah, no, he looks good.
He looks great.
I think.
What is he hiding under a picnic table? Like seriously,
he's in a treehouse.
Like imagine like having like $4 million and be like, where the fuck is Brian? And like, oh, he's on the back hiding under a picnic table with cutouts of 4 of Joe Rogan and just 1 of Seth Rogen.
Jesus, what a PR stunt! What the fuck?
If I had to guess, they probably wanted to salvage the company once his name was removed from it, and then maybe there was some scrubbing. That's my guess. But
I don't know.
Who knows?
Who
Anyways,
knows?
Sad.
God bless all any people struggling with.
He needs help.
That is a Manus question. That's the way to get the answer.
Manus?
Yeah.
That's like the new 50-year-old guy virality idea. Like Baldwin does it. You know, like who's the fucking agent that's
Steven?
running? Stephen Baldwin
What
does
about him?
kind of shit like
What,
this.
just going crazy publicly?
Yeah, just be like, I'm gonna talk about fucking putting myself like I'm actually is scythe a word? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a
scythe.
I'm a scythe.
Mm-hmm.
I am a horizon vector.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, man, go with that.
Yeah.
Put a kooky outfit on.
Well, that's the last. If you can no longer get any type of traction, that's the last.
Animal liberation, don't need to tell there's a lot, but not all of the women I've dated were crazy. Maybe it's just my type. My brother says he didn't see the issues that I see when he was dating, but he's in a whole other SMV tier considering he's a doctor. A lot better looking and a normie. I mean, I don't know where he's meeting some of these women, and like chicks do this thing too where they're gonna be on their best behavior when there's somebody that they feel like they can take more advantage of, right? So if they don't really care so much about a certain dude, they might be a little more unhinged, but when they see the doctor money, it's like, oh, here's my shot. And then they'll, wear the beard and act normal, but then once they sink their claws into you, then they become a crazy bitch. So who the fuck knows? If he's like dating women who are also doctors or professionals or something, like, yeah, he may be having some selection benefits there where, like, if a chick is like a doctor or a lawyer or something, like high class professional, they're probably less likely to be unhinged. But yeah, who knows? Thanks for the donation though, Animal Liberation.
Test donation, enjoy my money nigga.
All right. Well, thank you for the donation of Pile of Beans. Appreciate that. Animal Liberation $20, but my best friend is female, and she's honestly one of the chillest, most reasonable people I've ever met. Yeah, like, not all women are fucking crazy. It's kind of like cats. Most cats are really weird, but sometimes you meet cats that aren't weird, and they're just, like, pretty normal. Thanks for the donation, Animal Liberation.
Move you can make.
Yeah.
Is just the public crash out.
Like, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's all Baldwin, Liver King. I feel like Corey Feldman did that and then came back.
Andy Dick's a bit good at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow through all the links. I have a lot, so I don't want to blow through
I have some.
more. Oh, you want to go right now?
Oh, yeah. I sent a few.
Okay.
I'll throw some are better than others.
Let's see if there's one that.
Oh, right there. That one is so wild.
God.
I love this stuff.
Whoa, is it anime?
It's not my ex.
It's a bit of a
This is going to be a girl that we all went to school with. Soon.
Oh, no.
I was born with a dick and a womb. That doesn't make me man or female. It makes me both. They experiment.
Dude. It's even harder for vegan men. I don't want to date a carnist, but a lot of the vegan women I've met are also intersectional feminists with no sense of humor. And women can be fickle. Their interests change at the drop of a hat. No misogyny, but damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of vegan women who are just crazy intersectional feminists. I've seen that a fair bit. I'm just done with dating. I don't fucking care anymore. I can just live my life. You know, it's great. Thanks for the donation, though, Masashi Blade.
On me because they wanted to know what it was like to be trans, and me all over the fucking world with these sex trafficked me as a child. I'm a prisoner of war.
Oh.
And they can't even provide for me. They don't do it. They don't give me any provisions under the Geneva Convention. But this is called the prisoner experiment. It's the collegiate prisoner experiment. I'm fucking done. All statues remember who I am now, and they know that they're me. So I'll have you know, as Columbia, you're all discredited, decredentialed. You're all liars and thieves. You stole my lands.
Oh, yeah. You didn't stutter or skip a beat or anything.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the manager of the Whole Foods that you're looking at.
Oh,
hardcore.
How the hell did you find that?
I don't know. It just came across my algo.
It found you.
Extreme, man.
It's a
Wow. You don't see nightmares like that every
You
day.
should enter in the X Games and make her do tricks. Like, give her like a nice BMX bike and tell her to grind.
I wish I had. I found a Woonsocket one. I remember, did we watch that? The Woonsocket woman that was like this? Not quite like this, but she's too.
I know you don't.
This Gypsy Crusader, fuck me. Hate that guy.
A classic video. The guy just
Natural supplements is Brian Johnson.
Oh. He looks
Brian
good.
Johnson is Liver King, right?
Yes.
Who's the
Sengoku donators, this right here proves how retarded women are. Y'all do not want women to be accountable. Y'all want us to be ashamed. PSA, I don't go back and forth on the internet with men who can't get a crumb of attention from me in the real world. The men in the comments who don't possess comprehension skills, dictionary, emotional regulation, and or healthy relationships with women are exactly why I say I don't go back and forth. Yeah. I notice it's always like black chicks who post the shit too. It's really weird. I don't get why it's always black chicks too. Thanks for the donation, Sengoku. There's a new Chubby Emu vid. Okay, we'll watch that later.
Is there another Brian Johnson? Who's the longevity guy?
that's
Brian Johnson.
The guy who aged
Spell
backwards?
Yeah.
The age backwards guy?
The don't die guy. Over 100 million that company's worth, something crazy. It's worth something crazy. I don't even know.
You think he's just that smart?
He's not that smart. I don't think. I think.
Did Rogan ever have him on?
No. Well, I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
How do you get his body like that?
Just being just liver and just consuming it.
It's eating liver, eating like Brita filters of the body.
Eating the Brita filters of the body. Yeah.
Shaped eyes. That is terrifying.
I mean, it would be you would sort of have to lower yourself in order.
That just crosses every line of just basic human decency to me. Yeah, Rob Reiner was murdered last night. Whatever side of the divide you're
Ragebait donated $2. Let me see. Is this AI?
when I'm dating because I have 5 kids, you know? And then when I start dating and getting on the apps and shit, I realize that
It's only a couple states that have common law marriage. Just check which state you live in.
Well, in Canada, it's nationwide. I don't think the common law thing here is too bad. I know in certain states it's fucking unhinged. Like, living with somebody for only 2 years, in some states, they basically have the same rights as if you were married. It's fucking insane. So, yeah, it's... Like, dude, it's just crazy how you have to be like a fucking legal expert and consult with a lawyer just to like date. I don't know why. Like, and again, this is why like women act like fucking children, because like they know they can get away with shit like this, and like there's all these weird stupid safety nets for women. If you date a dude who makes more money than you, they know like, oh, if the relationship fails, I can get a lawyer and then I can sue him for money, and it's just fucking bizarre. I don't know why, like, men run society. I don't know why men got the bright idea, hey, let's make it so women can steal our money for no reason. It's just so weird. But thanks for the donation, Ronald. Ugh.
my children actually aren't the fucking problem. And that I shouldn't be insecure because I have children. Because, honestly, I deserve so much better than what these dating apps have to offer. And I deserve so much better than the men that I'm
I feel like this might be AI.
surrounded by, that I refuse. I fucking refuse. And, like, some men will be like, oh, like...
She's an overweight single mom with 5 kids.
You should feel thankful that a guy looks in your direction because you have 5 kids. Your mom raised you wrong. And, I would rather die alone with a goldfish than to settle for a man like you.
If my mom was okay with me dating a overweight chick with 5 kids, then she'd definitely have raised me wrong.
Baby, no. I don't care. 5 kids and all. I don't care. I'm not settling. I refuse. I refuse. I deserve a man in finance, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes as well.
I feel like that might have been AI.
Wrong. This is just unacceptable.
I don't care what you think of that war. There is no justification, there's no reason for mowing down Jews.
But the Israelis say, no, we're allowed to kill 20,000 kids. And no one should be able to...
I don't know if I can handle this tonight. Like, really. I just fucking can't. I'm skipping the whole Israel section when that comes up. Like, I just fucking can't. Especially with Cenk Uygur, like, I just, no.
See, what is your reaction to that?
Well, you saw that I came on here and I was brokenhearted when Charlie Kirk was killed, and I condemned the people celebrating it because, my God, if you're part of the peace movement, you're on the left, etc. We're supposed to be for nonviolence more than anybody else. So, and that was disappointing at that time. And then Donald Trump, among others, said it was the most outrageous thing they'd ever seen. For him to do it now to Rob Reiner, I mean, and for what? For what? I mean, did this guy advocate for some heinous thing? Not at all. And here's what I want people to understand about Rob Reiner. So he was obviously an enormous figure in Hollywood. He did some of the movies that we all love, like Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, etc., right? But on top of that, here's something that no one could argue with. Rob Reiner was a true American patriot. He loved this country. Now, whether you agreed with him or disagreed with him on any issue, he's a guy who put his heart into this country and always tried to make it better. You could see patriots like that, whether they're on the right or the left, who deeply care about their fellow man. And Rob Reiner was definitely one of those people. He was the best of us. And to die in such a tragic way, and then to have the...
Well, then just go ahead, bitch. If you want to choose the goldfish over the man, then just go ahead, die alone then.
Yeah. I mean, she probably will. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
The president of the United States rub it in and somehow make it about himself. Look, I'm not. I could get angry at Donald Trump. We've all been angry at Donald Trump. But if you're on the right, more than anything else, you should just be deeply disappointed. Is this what you wanted? Is this the ha-ha, you're dead kind of mentality that you wanted? It sounded like after Charlie died that you really, really didn't want that, that you thought it was a terrible thing to do.
Well,
So
that's
please don't
the
make
point.
excuses.
Yeah, look, that's the point, Gillian, that I would make, is it's going to be very interesting to me what people on the conservative right in America say by way of their reaction to what Donald Trump has said here. Because if there's any support for this from MAGA, from his supporters, his friends, from anyone, then it flies completely in the face of that whole debate after Charlie Kirk, when so many on the left behaved disgustingly. I remember calling it out at the time. And then here, the idea that he was murdered because of something to do with his views of Donald Trump, which is complete nonsense. I'm not just disappointed, I'm angry with it.
I completely agree with you and Jank here. I will say that when I woke up and learned about this, it was on Brandon Tatum's Instagram, and he actually showed the clip of you talking to Rob Reiner. So my hope is that any reasonable person on the right or the left finds political violence disgusting, any support of it disgusting, and I'm with both you and Jank. There's zero pushback over here. I'm extremely disappointed in the way Trump
it's not even, there's not even a suggestion it's political violence in this case, right? We don't know why the son did this.
Well, either way, if Trump was trying to imply that it was because
Apparently his son was a drug addict. That's what I've heard. It's kind of crazy. That's not something I expected to hear, that Rob Reiner would get killed by his son.
Because of Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, his son actually killed his wife, too.
Any violence of any kind.
I don't think he was.
Reprehensible. I'm not quite sure exactly what he was trying to imply, but I'm disappointed by his response. I have yet to see anybody on the right endorse that statement or celebrate the death of Rob Reiner. I certainly hope we don't, and I promise you that I would absolutely condemn anybody who does that.
Right. Let me bring Wajah in. I want to play a clip. This is another clip from the interview I did with him. I spoke to him for 45 minutes, literally in mid-September. It was a great interview, and I was very struck, actually, by the more mollifying tone that he took throughout this interview about Trump, who he has been very critical of in the past. There's no question. He's ranted away about Trump, like many in Hollywood have done. But in that interview, he struck a very different tone. And here's him talking about Trump and the fact the left kept calling him Hitler. Senator Ted Cruz has come out and said that people should stop using the Nazi rhetoric. And I feel very strongly about this. I think that you can absolutely go after Donald Trump in an aggressive way, but calling him Hitler or calling his supporters Nazis, I think crosses every acceptable line.
It doesn't get you where you want to be. I don't really know very many things that I agree with him on, but I also feel that if you...
Dude, J.D. Vance called Trump Hitler. The vice president called Trump Hitler. Why are we still talking about this?
Oh, name calling like that, it's not going to get you what you want. You have to rally people around the things that you agree with that are in disagreement with Donald Trump. And to me, the one area that, again, we both agree on is the freedom of speech and in the Constitution, First Amendment.
There's an irony there with Jahat about the name calling, because I don't know what Donald Trump thinks he'll achieve with this rant about Rob Reiner, as his body is still warm from this brutal murder. But whatever he thinks it will achieve, it will only, I think, anger and disappoint a lot of Americans, if not all Americans. And I just don't understand why he would use his gigantic platform so soon after someone is murdered to do this.
The harsh truth.
Like, by the way, this is the same guy who made fun of the attack against Nancy Pelosi's husband. Like, are we surprised? This guy has no shame, and anybody who has even the most minor disagreements with him, he wants them dead.
Truth is, this is who Donald Trump is. This is who he has always been. He's been cruel. He's been vulgar. He's lacked empathy. I mean, you just saw this right now. I'm glad you brought it up because I read it right before I came on your show. Rob Reiner and his wife, it seems that they were brutally and tragically murdered by their son, who apparently had mental health issues and drug problems. He was a beloved director. And you're seeing Donald Trump right now, who is the president of the United States, folks. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the representative of our country. And you just hope any president, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. What they say is it's a terrible tragedy, thoughts and prayers. Simple as that. But we've seen Donald Trump just even recently with Erica Kirk. I was on your show, and we all praised. It was a consensus amongst the panel that when she forgave the alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson, we all said that was very brave and a beautiful thing to do at the
Donald Trump isn't Jewish, stupid.
Arizona rally. What did Donald Trump do right after she said it? He goes, I don't forgive. I'm not as forgiving. Like, why would you say that? And then also after he survived the assassination attempt, if you remember at the RNC, Pierce, he had that patch on his ear. They gave him a script. He was supposed to be decent, kind, meditative for the first 20 minutes. And then he mocked and ridiculed Paul Pelosi, who survived an assassination attempt by David DePape. So this is who he is. And Pierce, if I may say, he's been like this for 10 years. I've been saying it. Chank's been saying it. Roland's been saying it. For everyone waking up today, where have you been? This is who he is.
Well, where I've been, I've always called it out when he's done it after people die. I think there's a particularly distasteful aspect, and I'll bring Emily in here. You know, when people have just been murdered, whether it's Charlie Kirk, whether it's Rob Reiner, it doesn't matter to me what their politics are. When they've been brutally murdered, the only decent, civilized human thing to do is to just be respectful or do nothing. You know, if your genuine feeling is what he's just ranted, well, don't say it.
Right. I feel like as a president of the United States, he does not, with all due respect, have any obligation to need to tweet about Rob Reiner. I feel like he has, other things going on, and that's reasonable. If I were in Trump's inner circle, would I had told him to post this? Probably not. I'd suggest strongly for him to just not say anything at all. The first I'm ever hearing of Rob Reiner is that he has Trump derangement syndrome, and that still doesn't change any of my empathy towards him. I didn't know who he was. I'm hearing now he was talented. In fact, one of the first impressions I've had of him was Donald Trump's tweet. But I really think we're doing a disservice by drawing parallels from this to political violence, even bringing up Charlie Kirk's murder. I get why you brought it up, Pierce, because you're saying, well, if you don't like how the left celebrated his death.
Can I come now, Daddy?
No, this is a don't come stream. Thanks for the donation, though, Gooner Boy.
Don't celebrate this, but nobody's celebrating Rob Reiner's death. I hope, as Jillian said,
well, it sounds like Donald Trump is getting. Yeah, but look, it does sound like he's getting pretty close to it. I mean, when he says that, he got killed reportedly due to the anger he caused others.
He also has no conscience as well.
Yeah, he only cares about himself. Like, Trump's a fucking narcissist. Why isn't anybody shocked? He's done this before with other people who've died or were almost killed. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
With his mind-crippling disease, Trump derangement syndrome, there is zero evidence for any of that. He got killed by his deeply disturbed son.
Okay, you need a timeout. You're fucking stupid.
After what the TMZ and New York Post and others are reporting was a terrible family argument. The son, Nick, who's now 32, was a screenwriter who battled and talked openly made a film about drug addiction, homelessness, and so on. But apparently, used whatever kind of implement to slit the throats of his parents.
Yeah.
I
hear you. I'm not justifying it.
I don't think there's any political motivation for this attack whatsoever. But Donald Trump has made it political by inferring very clearly that this happened because Rob Reiner attacked him. And that to me is where...
I disagree. I disagree, Pierce. I'll tell you what I think his intention was, and I will also preface by saying he did not get the message across. I feel like his intention was, hey, everybody, look, although this man hated me, and although he had Trump derangement syndrome, he ended it, putting up together with may they rest in peace, whatever. I feel like what his intention was even though I disagree with him, the guy died, and
He was gloating over his death and saying he deserved it because he didn't like me. That's what his intention was.
I'm sorry for him. He did that in possibly the worst way. And I just don't feel like this is really shocking to anybody here. I feel like we've all been following Trump over the last 10 years. And as Wajahat said, that's his style. You like it or not, that's who he is. This tweet was wrong, but it's not, necessarily so shocking for all of us to see. And also, it shouldn't be going
I actually did find it quite shocking. And I have known Trump a long time. I am a friend of Trump's, good, bad, and ugly. And I got to say, Roland, there's no defense for this.
There's no defense. I don't know what the hell I just heard. Let's be clear. He has no morals, no values, no decency, no ethics, no principles. This is who he is. This is not a shock at all. He's a narcissist. He is someone who makes everything about him. And so this is who this man is. This is who he was, not in the last 10 years, Piers, but going back to when he was descending down those escalators. Going before that, the whole thing with Obama and the Berger. This is who this man is.
He's always been a trash talker.
So I'm not
hang on a second. Look, he's always been a trash talker, right? He's a New York real estate guy. He's a trash talker. And I would say, I'm going to come to that. In relation to general trash talk, my God, the left talk trash about him, right? As I said in that clip, so all the Hitler stuff and Nazi stuff, all that, it's a two-way street, the trash talking. This is a particular thing, which angered me when I saw his reaction to Colin Powell dying, to John McCain dying. I just think there's just got to be, on all sides, when public figures like this die, whether they're great politicians or they're great movie people, whatever it is, there just has to be a basic decency. If people get killed or murdered or whatever it is, or die after great lives and careers, just either be decent or don't say anything.
Here's the deal. This all sides is nonsense. Listen, the regular average person who's out there on social media, that's one thing. But it's called being a statesman for a reason. I'm literally sitting here. I grabbed my book, Master of the Senate, of LBJ. And it was amazing. Cairo talks about how LBJ, when he was president, how he spoke and moved differently publicly than he did when he was majority of the Senate. Because he saw the presidency and the respect for the institution. This person has none. This is no shock. There's a reason I don't even call him president, because he does not rise to the occasion in that way. This is who he is. He will degrade people. He will say these things. I am not shocked by it because he is despicable in this way. Well, and there's no defense. There's no, I think he meant, he meant exactly what he wrote.
Okay, look, I want to move on to Australia, but I do want to end by just playing a clip, another clip from that interview with Rob Reiner, which I think is a nice way to remember him, because ironically, I said to him, because we've just been talking about Charlie Kirk, I said, Rob, when the day comes when you're no longer with us, and I hope it's not for a long time, very ironic given what's now happened, but I said, I would love to know, out of all your movies, which one would you choose?
Voting on a federal level doesn't matter. Voting on local level does. I'm gay.
Think they both matter. But thanks for the donation, gay nigga.
And he said this: should the moment come when we need to...
Hell, as far back as grade school, even people who grow up around Trump will tell you he was an asshole kid even back then.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always been an asshole and racist. I think his nephew shared the story that somebody slashed the top in one of his new convertibles, and he blamed it on black people and called them the N-word. So yeah, thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Remember the work of Rob Reiner. Which is the one for you of everything you've ever done that you would most like to be remembered for?
I always say Stand By Me to me is the one that meant the most to me. I don't know that it's the best. It's for other people to decide, but it's the one that meant the most to me because it really is an extension of my personality and my sensibility. It has a mixture of humor and melancholy and emotion, and it's something that is closest to me of all the films I've done.
And he went on to say a really moving thing, which was, I said my favorite one of his movies was When Harry Met Sally, which I think in many ways is almost a perfect movie. Brilliantly written, brilliantly directed, brilliantly acted, and a perfect length. And he talked about the fact that it was about 90 minutes. And he said a number of people that would come up to him who said on New Year's Eve, which obviously we're just a few weeks away from now, on New Year's Eve, they would start watching it at 10:30 at night on New Year's Eve. So that at the precise moment of the New Year's Eve denouement to the movie, people would actually celebrate the new year and how much he loved that. And that is actually how I'd love Rob Reiner to be remembered, as somebody who actually moved people with the power of his movies. And my God, he had so many great movies. And they were movies of warmth and love and humor and hope and all the things you would want in society. And that is how he should be remembered, I think. So,
Piers, can I make a quick comment about his amazing career? Just real quick. Just for Emily, if you want to go rent some of his movies. Rob Reiner had a generational run of movies for a decade. I just want to name them. I think I could get them at the top of my head in a row. This is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, Stand By Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, Few Good Men. All in a row.
I heard of When Harry Met Sally. I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, name me another director with that type of a run. And in addition, just to being everyone who knew him said, regardless of what you think about his politics, a really decent, loving, caring man who cared passionately about people, championed rights for women, LGBTQ folks, and cared about our democracy and preserving it.
Yeah, someone did a great tweet. This was Dan Perlman on X. He said, Rob Reiner directed the best American rom-com, When Harry Met Sally, the best coming-of-age film, Stand By Me, the best fantasy comedy, Princess Bride, the best mockumentary, This is Spinal Tap, and the best courtroom drama showdown, A Few Good Men. He did all that and so much more. So look, I want to move on, but I do think that is how Rob Reiner should be remembered.
I'm just going to skip the whole Bondi beach attack thing. I just fucking can't. Yeah, I can't with a panel like this, like Cenk being on it. But what about the children that Israel killed? Like, I fucking can't. No, thank you. The fuck?
Alice food. Quick question. What should I be doing? Hunting with a yautja?
The reviews I've seen of this were fairly middling, but I feel like I'd probably enjoy this. I kind of want to watch that movie.
You know, I started all this to talk about video games.
Oh, look, YouTube's still doing the thing.
You know, I started all this to talk about video games, but that's not really today's story, because Netflix are about to own the Nemesis system, along with the rest of WB Games. It's another tech giant trying to swallow up another media company, and it's another deal that will reshape the games that you play. Like, seriously, it will, and these mergers and acquisitions plays that we've seen have quite obviously led to a lot of bad things in the consumer side over the last few years. Just that this particular corporate marriage really is a disaster waiting to happen, almost more so than normal. You see, on one side you got WB Games. It's a company whose leadership has squandered away every advantage they could have had, with lots of little catastrophes like multiverses and Suicide Squad. And then on the other hand, you got Netflix. They're actually 4 years into their big gaming strategy, and so far, well, they've managed to shut down a AAA studio, lay off those developers, and they've actually pivoted their whole strategy multiple times. So, yes, everyone here has a great direction for their company, and it's all going to work great. No, it's obviously a match made in hell. Now, given the time of year, I think there's a problem you and I share, where with gift hunting, it needs to feel personal.
Yeah, I saw the Australian PM blaming guns for the terror attack. It's what politicians do, dude. Like, obviously, he can't blame it on Islam, because white guilt. So fabricate nonsense.
Personal, but you can't go overboard, and you can put it off, and well, here's the good news. I have a solution. It's today's sponsor, Aura Frames, because they just make gifting easy. So it's a digital picture frame, but done properly. It may not surprise you to know that WB Games has been a mess for the last few years, even though they did the big Hogwarts game. The recent legacy, well, that's Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. They've had studio closures hitting everyone from the freshly formed Multiverses developer Player First Games to the rather venerable Monolith Productions. You know, they did Shadow of Mordor, they made the Nemesis system, which of course got patent hoarded, which is lovely, but of course Monolith are gone, and yeah, Netflix, or maybe, of course, Mr. Ellison, will own the Nemesis system, because everything's cool and good. But the absurd bit of all of this is that as much as is all that chaos, it's also the company that toppled Call of Duty from the sales charts with Hogwarts Legacy. That should have been a turning point for the company, right? They had one of the largest successes this industry has had in the last decade. And somehow they followed that up with closing studios, cancelling projects, and announcing plans to squeeze even more money from their live service games. It's a company with Mortal Kombat, the Arkham games, the beloved suite of Lego games, that's now just been reduced to chasing whales.
Retardo Donatillers, is this racist? Let me see.
Are you single? Why are you single, man? So black. Sir, what kind of woman you want?
I prefer anybody making bread, try to motivate myself.
So black.
But she gotta have the ass though.
You're getting blacker and blacker by the minute. Sir, black man right there. What do you do for a living, man?
Security.
You're security, man. Maybe. See the difference here, sir?
Don't get it fucked up. I'm a nigga. I'm just. You see, man? I'm just chilling.
You see how they are when they get together?
No. Is this real or fake?
How old are you?
28.
You gonna meet someone better than that?
No, I see.
So why not marry her? You love him? You're gonna marry her? You say yes? Ask her right now. I'll pay for the whole front row. Even these fools right here, I'll pay for the whole front row. It's his fault if you guys pay. I'll put $2,000 towards your ring. Ma'am, how does this make you feel that he's just not right off the bat asking you? He's fake, right?
Yes. Yep.
You're gonna change your mind or not? No, huh? Like, no matter, look at that. The proof is in the pudding, man, and you're gonna stay, huh? You're pendeja, huh? Walk out, go ahead, we'll respect you. Hey, go backstage, go backstage. Hey, I'll take care of you. Hey, make sure she gets backstage. And get the baby oil. Appreciate your girl, Baba. You gotta appreciate her, man. Oh, she's appreciating all of us.
Thanks for sending me horse shit.
In their live service outings, while basically just shutting down the teams that kind of built their reputation. And that's just our read of them externally. There's also the internal culture, where, per Bloomberg, WB Games became a division of Warner Bros., where basically executives refused to make decisions, they wasted staff time on indecision, and they just couldn't let games ship.
If you had to pick either to be president for 2028, would you pick gruesome new scum? Or golden boy J.D. Vance?
Oh, both are just fucking terrible, dude. It's just terrible. I guess I'd have to go with Gavin Newsom. Like, really, the worst he could do would be to try to ban guns, but, like, that'll never happen. The Supreme Court would stop him. And just the U.S. Constitution would stop him, and it's the most politically unpopular thing you could possibly do in the United States. Like, the best Joe Biden could do was ban bump stocks, or no, not ban bump stocks, that was Trump. The worst he could do was ban those 80% lowers. And he was also trying to fuck with those, like, short-barreled rifle laws, where he got rid of that, like, SBR pistol kind of loophole thing. And I'm not even sure if that went through. Wasn't that kind of blocked by the Supreme Court, too? There was something that happened there where I can't remember if that actually went through. So, yeah, like, Gavin Newsom could try doing something stupid like that, but he seems to be extremely cognizant that he can't run on that platform. Like, that is just cancer. And now he's trying to pretend as though he's pro-Second Amendment. So, yeah, I'd have to go with Gavin Newsom, even though he's a fuckwit. Thanks for the donation, Ronald.
Without interfering. Really, when you go through that whole story, it's kind of amazing the new leader came in and he was all basically completely trashing the previous leader. Whole big mess, whole big shit show. And, well, Netflix wants to buy it. So let's talk about that bit. $72 billion. That is Netflix's offer for Warner Bros. Discovery. Of course, maybe that'll mean that I'll get my Ghost Adventures on Netflix now. Maybe. How convenient. There's been a lot of interest from other companies, and that will become relevant later on in this story. But here's the big thing, right? The deal is not about video games. It's really about other things. Because even something like Hogwarts Legacy, well, that barely cleared $1 billion in revenue. Rookie numbers. And the release announcements that they've made for this deal, well, they're all talking about Warner Bros.' massive library of films and series and the streaming impact of HBO. Games weren't even a footnote, so if you care about the games bit, that's probably not great. But thankfully you've got more detail courtesy of game developer staff, who spent hours just getting a Warner Bros. Discovery spokesperson to confirm that the gaming division wasn't being spun off like their cable networks. The response was kind of telling, though. No plans that they could announce, but they would maintain, quote, current operations, which, as we all know, have been going amazingly. And Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav, yes, that mad lad's back again.
Well, at least the Injustice game that NetherRealms is working on is still gonna be developed. Like, best case scenario, hopefully, like, NetherRealms doesn't get cucked like they did with Warner Bros. And they don't release another MK1. But, yeah, considering how Netflix has handled their gaming thing, I'm a little worried. I don't know why it's so hard for them to just give developers money to make good games. It's all they got to do. Like, just make some good Mortal Kombat games. They did a good job with 9, 10, and 11. They could have, like, Warner Bros. Could have just had them make another fucking Batman Arkham game. But no, live service. Like, it's just fucking insane.
He suggested that Netflix might just skip the traditional post-merger layoff, which certainly is the sort of thing that you would say pre-merger, because you want to make the merger look like a good thing. Here's a quote from the big man. The intention is they want to keep most people because they don't have a lot. They don't have a motion picture studio, and they don't have a big gaming business, and so the fit feels very good for our employees. Basically, it's him trying to say, Netflix don't have the stuff that we have, so they probably are buying us for some of those things. Now, of course, they could also just be buying them for all of that IP, things that have already been made that are worth quite a lot of money. Kind of ironically, this is one of the first mentions of gaming in any public statements about this merger, which does go to show how little it seems gaming has been a priority, but there's a little bit of a hint that Netflix may actually want WB Games, because obviously their own gaming division hasn't really had a good time. And if what all this suggests is actually true, it would be a marked change from the scuttlebutt earlier this year, where basically sources were telling the Financial Times that WB was considering selling off the games arm altogether, either just as a whole or basically stripped down for parts. But here, Zaslav's also not wrong. Netflix does have a big gaming business, but it's not quite like WB's, although one way that it is quite like it is that it's really goddamn messy. Just as I finished this recording, we got a new quote, and my god, this quote is amazing. Peter said that while Warner has done, quote, great work in the game space, we don't actually attribute any value to that from the get-go because they're relatively minor compared to the grand scheme of things. So there you have it from the horse's mouth. And by horse, I don't just mean some random Netflix quote machine. That's from their co-CEO. It's all looking good. How much of a shit show is Netflix's gaming business? Well, 2 years ago, Netflix bought indie studio Spry Fox. They make puzzle games, stuff with like Cozy Grove and Animal Crossing energy, so a good fit for a casual audience. Last week, they sold the studio back to their founders. 2 years had passed. I suppose something probably happened, but whatever plan they had for that studio has now been abandoned. That's just your appetizer. So, Netflix Gaming launched in 2021 with 5 mobile games. And the pitch was simple. Anyone with a Netflix account could play premium games for free. And these wouldn't be choose-your-own-adventure things like Bandersnatch that you gotta play on your TV remote. No, these would be actual, real video games. And they had ambitions to scale all of this up and to basically compete for attention with Fortnite itself. They bought rather renowned studios like Night School, who are the devs of Oxenfree, basically to make real games, alongside all of the mobile stuff that they would be doing based on Netflix IP. Which of course was a tremendous success because we're all still playing that Stranger Things mobile game that they did back then. I don't know, maybe there's more than one. Whatever. Now, as of a year later, only 1.1% of Netflix users were actually playing games. That's a small percentage, but it's still quite a lot of people. That's 1.7 million daily users. That's what they're reporting anyway. That does completely blow my mind, but you know what? If you're a public company and you lie about numbers like that, you get in a lot of trouble. So I'm just going to assume those people actually do exist. Now, by 2023, they were testing a browser and smart TV app, though that wouldn't launch fully until 2025. And in the years between, they really pivoted hard and things got weird. So there was massive deals with companies like Rockstar that brought franchises like Grand Theft Auto to their platform. That meant they passed 200 million downloads off the back of that stuff. But of course, that's not Netflix developing games. That's them getting access to people's libraries. Their homegrown efforts were, they were altogether worse. So they formed a AAA quality studio in 2022 with Halo and Blizzard veterans that they then shut down in late 2024. This keeps on happening all of the time. Now, this was their one attempt at making games the way the WB does, right? Like with a full actual studio, and it only lasted for 2 years. Now, around that time, leadership at the top of their gaming division changed. Their priorities then shifted towards cheaper, generative AI content. Fantastic. They followed it all up with laying off staff at Night School Studios, which happened in 2025. They cancelled 6 planned PC and console ports, and they doubled down on, quote, what our members like. I have a slight suspicion that might translate to slop. What they also did is they actually pulled all of their choose-your-own-adventure format things from Netflix as well. And you see, that's because apparently what members liked is a library full of content that they recognize, and small games based on Netflix IP. Now, what Netflix will now do with the WB games that they may actually own, which is, a set of developers who make very big games, like the sorts of games that Netflix just got out of, who really knows? That's weird. And of course, those WB Games devs have basically just spent years being mismanaged, hemorrhaging money. They've been hemorrhaging staff, hemorrhaging talent, hemorrhaging everything that can hemorrhage. It very much looks like an out of the pan and into the fire situation. So, with all that cheery stuff in mind, what happens next? Well, right now, there's no obvious place for the WB Games library inside of Netflix's operation. Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat becoming library games that they don't have to license is nice to have, I guess, but there's no real business crossover, or, synergy, which you do actually want when you can get it. So that's a bit weird, and it's all a bit bizarre. One of these companies, Netflix, basically just seems to want nice-to-have games that they can give out for free, so that their Netflix subscribers, have something to share with their household, maybe get hooked on, keep the Netflix subscription going. Like, that's the actual business model of Netflix. It's very much not the model of WB Games, which was all about making big premium titles sold at full price before they then, also tried to make those live service games, and that was obviously all a disaster. So I guess we've got coexisting disasters now. And maybe coexistence in a simple form is what will happen. And maybe Netflix will sell off or shut down these studios because they don't really fit the core business model of Netflix. I mean, Netflix doesn't have that many developers. Happens. The deal may not actually go through. You see, global regulatory approval is actually required for this, and the frontrunner in streaming, swallowing up its competition, will obviously face scrutiny just about everywhere, even in the US's kind of more laissez-faire environment. Now, the White House isn't exactly close with Netflix. They've also said that the deal...
Thank you for the donation, Chris. I appreciate that.
Quote, could be a problem, and that may be where the Allison family of, Oracle and everything. We've even talked about them before with Annapurna Games. That story had a private billionaire island in it. It was a very fun one. Allegedly, right? The only reason WB was up for sale in the first place was because of Paramount and them trying to make a deal happen. So it seems that they're kind of pissed off that this Netflix thing has happened, and that's now led to them executing a hostile takeover bid for $100 billion. And of course it is one backed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund and Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners, the same group that just bought Electronic Arts. And reportedly, we don't have the full stuff yet, but the percentage of EA that the Saudis may actually own is shockingly high. I believe above 90%.
Whoa. How in the fuck? I didn't know that.
Percent is what's currently being reported, which is maybe a little bit more than people thought. So they could also own this too. Wouldn't that be great? And with that mentioned, it's only right that I offer my congratulations to Tolkien Black.
That is absolutely bizarre. I had no fucking idea.
Because he won the South Park Turkey Trot, also backed by the Saudis. So it's a funny story then. Even if Netflix is a company with a gaming division that doesn't really fit Warner Bros., at least it would be a company with a gaming division. Paramount is really less.
Dodo $92, let me see.
This is Brown Christmas Season 2, and on Episode 2, we're making this tandoori tofu turkey. The flavor is all in the delicious marinade, and I topped it with coriander yogurt sauce to cool down the spices. Combine
Yogurt sauce is fucking disgusting.
plant-based yogurt with all them spices, onion powder, garlic powder, and a squeeze of lime. Don't forget to add some olive oil, whisk that together, and coat the tofu in the marinade. I actually poked a few holes in the extra from tofu afterwards so the flavor really sinks in. Marinate this for a few hours to overnight, then bake to golden tandoori perfection. If there's any leftover marinade, just coat it over the tofu and broil for a few minutes. Slice them and serve it with my Christmas plate. This year I made this tandoori tofu roast, 1 pan spiced vegetables, stuffed portobello mushrooms, curried mac and cheese, and turmeric cranberry rice. Enjoy and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah, I don't know about that yogurt marinade thing.
Winnie, are you making a bed up there?
My goodness.
I wouldn't call myself a cat guy.
Hmm.
Not a cat. She's not a human.
Oh. Cat. Yes, that's good. Cows love cats. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's nice. That's gross. That's nice. That's nice.
Seriously?
Wow. That's nice.
I mean, I remember watching it and thinking, I can't understand this. What does this mean? She was able to explain the distinction between forgiveness as a personal choice to almost let go of something, to not let it be this anvil around her, and forgiveness in the mode of her faith, and to make a distinction between that and her desire for justice, which is quite different. It doesn't mean that she forgives it doesn't mean that she does not want this alleged murderer
To be held accountable.
To be held accountable. And I think that's the really, really important distinction. I mean, I remember watching it and thinking,
Whatever. There's a difference between not liking Israel and anti-Semitism. Yeah, great, sure. We know Nick hates Jews.
Publicly to this news. Here's what he posted. Quote, "A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable
Yeah, well, we already know about this. Trump is like a weird, deranged narcissist, and as soon as somebody he doesn't like dies or gets hurt, he gloats about it and says like, haha, you deserved it because you don't like me. That's what he really means when he says shit like this. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Now, Paramount has only got a modern gaming division because they bought the Walking Dead publisher Skydance in 2022. And all they've done with that is release VR games and a promise for the continually delayed Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. So great, they actually found a concept for a Marvel game that I'd be bloody well interested in, and it's the one that seems to be complete vaporware. Lovely. Paramount buying WB Games would probably be a bigger unknown than Netflix. I can't tell you it would be worse because we cannot predict the future, but it certainly would be more of an unknown. But there is a through line across all of these scenarios, and that through line is the poor bastards at WB Games. They've already spent most of a decade being dicked around by their leadership's decisions, and I think no matter what, that does not look to be changing anytime soon. And speaking of the people who actually make the damn games getting dicked around, maybe, just maybe, we're set for a
If you had to go AOC versus JD Vance for 2028, who you going with?
Probably JD Vance. AOC's a complete fuckwit. As much of a fucking retard JD Vance is.
So British people have been.
AOC's a complete, utter, just fucking retard. Thanks for the donation though, Ronald. Oh, sorry, kitty. Oh, I've got a little kitty napping on me. He's been cuddling so much. He's been so cuddly. This is my favorite brown blob. You're my favorite big brown blob. Yeah. Oh, he's such a nice kitty. Oh, I love him. You're so good. You know you're beautiful? Yeah, you're beautiful. I gave him extra num-num tonight. I was busy and he had to wait a little bit longer for his num num, so I gave him a little bit of extra num num, so his tummy's nice and full. Yeah, it's a good baby. He likes his extra num num. Oh, I love you, Gum Gum. My sweet baby. My God, you're so big. Look at your big cat head. I love you so much. You're such a sweet baby. Yeah, you're such a sweet baby. Oh. You're so good. I gotta go to the bathroom, though. I'm sorry, sweetie. Gonna have to get up. Yeah, I gotta get up. Oh, that's a big kitty. Oh, he's so big and heavy. Oh, he got a good kitty smell. Alright, I'm just gonna go take a piss. I'll be right back. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, that was a good tinkle. Dodo, donate $2. Let me see. Legal migrant on the run from Italian police is being captured after he was spot hiding. Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this meme before.
Famously.
Alright, Asianometry. Oh my god. Oh, jeez.
Free Palestine.
Yeah. See?
Free Palestine.
You knew I'm Jewish, and therefore you want free Palestine. You found a new pretense.
What?
To hate
Free Palestine?
Jews.
That has nothing
you
to do
found
with hating
only
Jews.
because you saw me because I'm Jewish. Absolutely.
I said
you saw,
Free Palestine.
You only
I say Free
yelled
Palestine
Free
every day.
Palestine
I'm
because
Palestinian.
I'm Jewish.
No.
Yes,
I'm
you're.
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't imagine having to deal with this fucking brain rot, dude. And then they gaslight you. Oh, look, see, the Jews are weaponizing racism. Oh, they're all crazy. Like, these are the worst people.
Welcome to Brown Christmas Season 2, and on Episode 3, we're making these sausage-stuffed portobello mushrooms. The perfect protein-packed side dish that's also packed with flavor, is vegan and gluten-free. For the sausage, we're using dehydrated soy chunks, rehydrating them, and sauteing aromatics like green chili, ginger garlic paste, and add in the chopped stems of the portobello mushrooms, chopped bell peppers, ground spices like garam masala, chili powder, cumin, coriander, turmeric, onion, and garlic powder. Add in the soy chunks, a pinch of gluten-free soy sauce, a squeeze of lime, and cornstarch slurry. Stuff them into the portobello mushrooms and air fry them to golden roasted perfection. Enjoy the festive season, and let me know some of your favorite Christmas recipes you'd like me to recreate.
Those look good. I like mushrooms. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Sengoku Donatillers, would you say having a decent scientific literacy is mandatory for not being a complete dumbass? Yeah, I'd say so. I've been working on improving my domain literacy in like health, history, etc. to debate it effectively. I mean, I was just arguing with somebody who didn't believe evolution is real today. Like, it's... The stupidity runs deep, man. So yeah, you really need to have some basic scientific literacy to not be a retard. Thanks for the donation, though, Sengoku.
Look at this map.
Oh man, this is 35 minutes. What is this? They're the same.
Map of Afghanistan. There's this weird little strip of land that still technically belongs to the country. That's the Vakhan corridor. It's 350 kilometers long and 16 to 64 kilometers wide. The corridor separates Tajikistan and Pakistan and ends at a short border with China. It's one of the most remote regions on Earth. Huge mountains, barely inhabited valleys, and places so difficult to reach, they seem almost untouched by time. It's home to nomadic life, to striking natural beauty. But the Vakhan corridor is about to change forever. Because right here, the Taliban are building a 120-kilometer highway, which will connect Afghanistan to China, a project they say will transform the country's economy. But its significance reaches far beyond the country's borders. It could change global trade, offering an alternative route for Chinese goods flowing west. For China, the Vakhan corridor could become an important link in the new Silk Road, a massive global infrastructure project to expand China's economic influence. The highway will run through the very core of Afghanistan's history, shaped by the many empires that have come and gone. And at the same time, it opens a path toward Afghanistan's uncertain future, economically, politically, and culturally. Yet online, we only found rough plans of the highway's construction. No footage, no details, no progress updates. So we sent our reporter Vali to investigate. He knew it would be a long and dangerous adventure, but he wasn't ready for what came next.
Breeze Donatella's biggest retards on Instagram. Let me see. Well, this guy's a complete fraud.
Bounce some ass. Bounce that ass. Whose ass is that?
Daddy's.
Boys, listen, you ever been to the airport, the grocery store, the mall? You see a dime, 10 out of 10, and you're like, damn, I wonder who's banging that. It's probably a motherfucker like me. Just gonna be straight up with you. But a lot of you guys hit me up and go, Vince, my girl left, Vince. My boss fired me, Vince. I'm not gonna make rent this.
Usually the hottest girls you see are dating like fucking weirdos where you're like, why are they dating them?
Month, and I always ask, brother, when's the last time you got a lineup? Because if you looked like money, it'd be impossible to go broke. If you looked like money, you'd make money, right? If I was down to my last $100 and I was starving, I'm getting a lineup. The food's gonna come after that. Everything else will sort itself. Book your barber in right now, get the appointment, and let's fucking turn up, bro. Go back.
This guy has like gayest, most retarded haircut. He probably has a receding hairline, and that's why he has his hair like that. Okay, thanks for the donation freeze. Donate tillers 1.25 x speed because 1.5 VG is too fast. It's really not. I'm only going to be able to watch one of these videos if we're going to do 1 1/4 speed. Like these together are over an hour long, dude. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Hey Andrew, what's up? I'm doing okay.
Important disclaimer. The political views expressed in this film represent the perspective of Fern. The people appearing on screen or assisting in production in Afghanistan are not connected to, nor responsible for these interpretations.
I feel like these Afar people, they really embrace the spirit of this place.
Regular Fern viewers are already familiar with Vali. Last year, he flew to Ethiopia for us and explored an active volcano zone accompanied by kids carrying Kalashnikovs. A few months ago, he flew to Fiji to investigate a doomsday cult taking over the paradise. But this story is a whole different beast. Traveling to Afghanistan is neither easy nor particularly safe. You can't just book a flight to the Vakhan corridor. You have to fly to the capital Kabul and then continue by car for multiple days. And trying to get permission to film, do journalism or any sort of media in Afghanistan is hard. The Taliban are a predominantly Pashtun hardline Islamist group. They regained power in the country and retook control in August 2021 when the US and other Western countries withdrew their armies. Since then, the human rights situation has gotten worse and worse. The rights of women and girls are severely restricted and critical voices are being silenced. The Taliban police public spaces, operate checkpoints across the country and even search people's phones. Sending Vali there takes a huge amount of time and preparation. We've got a whole team working behind the scenes to make sure he can actually get there, from applying for visas, booking flights, to securing the journalist permit. On top of that, we bring in outside experts who know the ins and outs of traveling in Afghanistan. We run multiple security and risk calls and try to plan for every scenario, and there's so much to consider. Parts of the journey go up several thousand meters in altitude, which means altitude sickness is a real risk. There's also the reality of Afghanistan itself. The country is politically unstable, and in the Vakhan corridor, you're basically on your own. Almost no cell signal. The terrain is tough. Clean drinking water is hard to come by. And if something goes wrong, proper medical care could be days away. That's why Vali doesn't travel alone. He's accompanied by a field producer and medic. And with him come 50 kilos of luggage full of medical and emergency equipment.
There's no help there. We're helping ourselves.
Then finally, on the 19th of August 2025, Vali and Rob fly to Kabul. It's going to be a long trip. They're going to drive from Kabul to Faizabad and then to Ish-Kashim, which is the gateway to the Wakhan corridor. According to the Taliban, the newly built 120-kilometer highway project runs from here to Bazai-Gonbad to the southeast, all the way to the border with China. But before they hit the road, let's take a closer look at Afghanistan. The country covers about 650,000 square kilometers in South Central Asia and has a population of roughly 43 million people. Most Afghans live in rural areas, though there are major urban centers such as Kabul. When we speak of the Afghan people, it's important to understand that Afghanistan is far from homogeneous. It's home to plenty of ethnic groups and cultures. Dari and Pashto are the two official languages, but many others are spoken across its many regions. Afghanistan is also home to nomadic communities. Groups such as the Waki and the Kyrgyz have lived in the remote high valleys of the Wakhan corridor for generations. Geographically, Afghanistan is landlocked, sharing borders with Pakistan, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and China. Because of its location, the land we now call Afghanistan has long been of interest to the world's superpowers. Afghanistan has been conquered again and again throughout history by Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan, the Turkic conqueror Tamerlane, the Mughal emperor Babur, as well as the Turks, Huns, Persians, Arabs, and countless others. Empires came and went, some staying for decades, others for centuries. Yet, no superpower managed to hold onto Afghanistan permanently. Because of that, it's often called the graveyard of empires. In the 19th century, the British arrived, and Afghanistan became the stage of a rivalry between Great Britain and Russia known as the Great Game. The contest redrew the map of the region. The Wakhan Corridor emerged as a narrow buffer zone, separating the British and Russian empires. In 1919, after 3 British-Afghan wars, Afghanistan gained its independence. So much has changed since the Great Game. For example, how we do business. Today, you can build a trade empire without leaving your home. And it all starts with Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one management software that...
No.
Description to get started. Before leaving Kabul, Vali still has to visit ministry after ministry to make sure we can film the highway. First up is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Here, things go smoothly.
We got the permits. We can go to Parakshan and we can film there.
The permit is handed over with a simple warning. Just stay exactly with your agenda and you will be fine. By 1 p.m., the trip begins. Leaving the crowded streets of the capital behind, they head toward the Salang Pass. To reach northern Afghanistan, they drive through a 2.6-kilometer-long tunnel at an altitude of about 3,400 meters.
Right here, the infamous Salang Tunnel. See you on the other side.
This tunnel wasn't built by Afghanistan, but by the Soviets. It's not the only reminder of their invasion. Out in the desert lies a vast graveyard of Soviet tanks, relics from a terrible war. In 1979, the Soviet Union sent troops into Afghanistan. They intervened in the country's civil war to support the Afghan communist government in its conflict against anti-communist Muslim guerrillas. Initially, the Soviets planned only for a short intervention, but the war lasted 9 long years. Afghanistan became one of the major battlefields of the Cold War.
Jasmine Durian Rider.
The communist government in Kabul was backed by Moscow. On the other side, the US supplied money and weapons to the Mujahideen, the Muslim guerrillas resisting the Soviets. The Soviet army suffered heavy losses and failed to gain control of the country. By 1988, Moscow began to withdraw its troops. But the fighting didn't end. Both the Soviet Union and the US continued to back their allies in the conflict. In 1992, the regime collapsed and Afghanistan fell back into civil war. 4 years later, the radical Islamic Taliban seized power in Kabul and declared the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. On the long trip to the Wakhan Corridor, Vali and the crew run into one car problem after another. Flat tires, breakdowns, wrong fuel.
It's windy, it's dusty.
Was it a bad idea for the US to leave Afghanistan? Not really. I mean, are they supposed to just stay there indefinitely? So, they had to leave at some point. They lost major military bases, gave China more leverage in the region. Well, whoopee diddly do. What's in Afghanistan exactly?
It's getting colder, and we have a flat tire. Off to a great start. Something wrong with the gas pump.
But slowly, they push forward.
We're gonna drive through the night, slowly, carefully, to catch up a little bit on the schedule with all the time that we lost. The roads and the driving is honestly a little bit stressful, a little bit chaotic here. A little bit being a bit of an understatement. But yeah, we'll get through this.
And the journey is worth it.
We've been on the road now for probably around 20 hours, and the landscapes are just mind-blowing.
They finally reach Badakhshan province, this remote corner of Afghanistan.
The Wakhan Corridor is also in this province. It's still a long drive though. And all along this river here, we could see gold mines.
Afghanistan is rich in natural resources. Beneath its mountains lie vast deposits of copper, iron, rare earths, and gold. The Taliban sit on minerals worth nearly $1 trillion.
Freeze $22. Why do the fake financial guru influencers literally almost always live in Miami? I don't know. I guess Miami's nice to live in. but who knows? I guess that's the weird financial guru scam capital. Thanks for the donation, Freeze.
But in reality, most of it still remains untouched.
These kids are building these parts for the gold extraction, and this place is full of gold mines. It's a proper gold rush here.
Vali and the crew finally make it to Faizabad, the capital of the Badakhshan province. The plan for the day seems simple. Walk into the ministry, pick up another filming permit, and move on. But things don't go as planned.
Sitting here with this beautiful view over Faizabad. I'll tell you what happened today. Once we came here, things really turned around.
The local ministry suddenly informs Vali he's not allowed to film anywhere in Badakhshan. According to a ministry employee, the order comes straight from the Taliban. And we can actually find a news article about this ban. Under Article 17 of the law, the broadcast of images of living beings is explicitly prohibited. But that's not the only reason.
Another concern that one employee raised was that if this story goes viral, if many people get to know about this road project, which has been tried to be kept secret as good as possible, all the neighboring countries and general, people will know about this project and try to pressure China, try to somehow make this project not happen, which I found bizarre again, because there has been a lot of Afghan news coverage on the road. Not very exact information on how far it actually is or photomaterial, but it seems there is certainly pride in sharing this project. So it's all super confusing to us.
Then, out of nowhere, the director of the ministry calls.
Seems like we got it.
Under strict conditions, permission for filming is granted. Vali and the crew are not allowed to enter the wildlife area in the Wakhan corridor. They can't go near Pakistani border regions, understandable. And they are forbidden from going to the border with China, the very area where the highway is connecting both countries. One of the essential spots we plan to visit. Vali and the crew are only allowed to drive to Bazai Gonbad. Why did they change their mind? We can't know for sure. Vali and the crew have no other option than to adapt.
We'll still make use of the permissions that we do have and try and see what it is that we can get.
And he doesn't falter. Camera in hand, he presses forward, capturing sights of Afghanistan you have likely never seen before.
Okay, this is it, the last checkpoint. And now we're officially in Wakhan. It's so windy out here. First 80 kilometers of the Wakhan down. Took us about 5.5 hours. And we reached Kandut, which is the administrative village of the Wakhan.
Over the next few days, the journey takes him from the bustling streets of Faizabad along roaring rivers.
How is this gonna go?
Through secluded valleys.
See the little bucket he has in his hands? Whenever a donkey has to poop, he tries to catch it so he doesn't fall down on the food.
Past breathtaking mountain panoramas, deeper into the heart of the Wakhan corridor.
The Wakhan splits into two. This side goes to the Little Pamir, which is the way we're going. And on that side, just over here, is the pass to Pakistan. It's just 7-8 kilometers that way. All the mountains you can see here are actually on Pakistani side.
Vali and the crew arrive in Sarhad. This is where the 120-kilometer highway to China begins. A project the Taliban see as key to forging new alliances after decades out of power. With the new century, the Taliban firmly established control over large parts of Afghanistan. They also gave shelter to Al-Qaeda, the militant Islamist organization founded by Osama bin Laden in the 1980s. What began as a logistical network to support Muslims fighting against the Soviet Union during the Afghan War evolved over time. By September 2001, it had become a terrorist organization known worldwide.
The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and to bring them to justice.
In response, the US launched a military operation aimed to go after Al-Qaeda and overthrow the Taliban government and invaded Afghanistan.
26 days after the attacks on New York and Washington, America and Britain have begun the military campaign against Osama bin Laden and the Taliban regime.
By the end of 2001, the Taliban had been ousted from Kabul. The United Nations called for a new political beginning in Afghanistan, and NATO allies joined efforts to stabilize the country. As part of the Resolute Support mission, about 10,000 troops from 36 NATO and partner countries were stationed in Afghanistan. They stayed here, quote, to train, advise, and assist the Afghan security forces and institutions, so that Afghanistan would never again be a safe haven for terrorism. But alongside the military operations come countless reports of abuses and war crimes committed by soldiers, killings of civilians that were often ignored, covered up, or never properly investigated. And despite 20 years of international presence, the political situation in Afghanistan remained unstable. Then came the summer of 2021. The US military, along with NATO allies, withdrew their troops from the country.
We did not go to Afghanistan to nation build, and it's the right and the responsibility of Afghan people alone to decide their future and how they want to run their country.
The withdrawal was chaotic. Hundreds of thousands were evacuated. But thousands more who had worked for the US and its allies were left behind in Afghanistan. Since the Taliban retook control, they have brought back harsh Sharia-based laws. The human rights situation has worsened. Arbitrary arrests, torture, public executions of journalists, human rights activists, and former government employees. In many cases, family members are reportedly forced to pull the trigger. The Taliban banned girls and women from secondary and university education. No more school for girls older than 12. Most Afghans oppose this ban. And to this day, a lot of courageous Afghan women fight against it, like activist Fatima Amiri.
I'm someone who has felt every kind of pain that girls in my country experience. I'm the girl whose school was closed. I still remember the day when they closed my school, how painful it was.
In September, the Taliban banned books written by women from Afghan universities. To keep girls learning, radio stations broadcast daily lessons in subjects like math, chemistry, biology, and literature. The girls sent their homework through a secret network of allies, fathers, brothers, teachers, who risked their lives to make sure the girls can keep getting an education. Since coming back to power, the Taliban have issued more than 70 decrees that violate women's rights.
I have spoken to countless women, people who've been deported from Pakistan, from Iran, and they will tell you that they are in despair, that life has never been more challenging for them, that the Taliban's return has squashed their dreams.
This is Rick Nowak, the Afghanistan bureau chief for the Washington Post. He also made the journey to the Wakhan corridor in 2024. Women aren't allowed to raise their voices or even laugh in public.
When it comes to places where they can meet, there's not much left. The Taliban has closed beauty salons, which used to be one of the main meeting points after women were banned from going to school or university up of 6th grade.
Nowak says that for many Afghan women, the internet has been the last place where they could still experience a sense of freedom.
You know, a lot of them are using AI chatbots to talk because they have no one else to talk to. They're trying to still attend some online courses. So a lot of them have resorted to that. But what we've seen over the last weeks has been mounting signs that the Taliban wants to restrict internet access.
In September, the Taliban cut off internet access in the country for 48 hours to prevent immorality.
For a lot of women who saw this as the last lifeline, this has been particularly devastating.
We live in 2025, and Islam is still a thing.
In recent years, Afghanistan has become increasingly isolated. Foreign governments, NGOs, and companies pulled out. International investors disappeared.
The Taliban says, country is open for business. Please come invest here. They have been trying to sell their country as almost an investor's paradise. But the reality is a lot of countries are hesitant to invest. They still see significant risks.
Afghanistan's economy collapsed.
Taliban sounds like Richard if he were dictator. In their policies against women, that is.
No, I definitely would not prevent women from going to school or have basic rights. Thanks for the donation, though, Non-Wib. I just love kitties. Kitties are good. Oh, I love this cat. He's a really special cuddle cat. He's the cuddliest kitty I've ever had. Oh my goodness, he is just so cuddly and sweet. He is such a good, nice, cuddly kitty. Oh my goodness, I love him. I love the sweet cuddle cat. You're beautiful. You're beautiful and amazing. He has pink toe beans. I love my kitty. You're good. You're just good.
And unemployment is high. According to the New York Times, more than half the population now depends on humanitarian aid. On top of that, in 2025 alone, more than 2 million Afghans were forced to return home from Pakistan and Iran. Both countries have become stricter with Afghan refugees and migrants. And in this isolation, China is offering a hand. It has stepped in as one of the few international partners still engaging with Afghanistan. China has become Afghanistan's biggest investor. By late 2023, it was their third largest supplier of imports. China has even posted an ambassador in Afghanistan, and Beijing has reasons to be interested. Afghanistan sits on massive untapped reserves of copper, lithium, and rare earths. These are strategically important for China. The country is thinking about extending the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC for short, into Afghanistan. CPEC is basically a huge trade and infrastructure route through China and Pakistan. The expansion into Afghanistan would link the country to new trade and transit routes, all under the Belt and Road Initiative, also known as the New Silk Road. That's China's enormous global infrastructure project. With the New Silk Road, the country wants to expand trade routes and broaden its political and economic influence. The routes run both over land and at sea to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe. And the US isn't happy about that. The country is currently in a trade war with China. President Donald Trump is working on expanding his country's maritime influence and trying to weaken China's global network of ports. That's why overland connections like the Wakhan corridor could give China another route west to expand its reach. For the Taliban, it would be a huge win.
The Wakhan corridor symbolizes really economic hope. The hope that they can turn their country, which is currently quite isolated economically and politically, into more of a transit country.
So they decided to build a highway at an altitude of 5,000 meters. The project is supposed to have cost $5 million. According to Taliban officials, the road was completed in January 2024. Vali and the crew are close to the destination now and soak in life in the Pamir. But the high altitude takes its toll.
As much as I love this place, the altitude is also really tangible.
Buy, sale, trade, 2026 movies, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 2. I don't understand the question.
I mean, at night, I get weird dreams. Sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and think it's the morning already. Breathing shortage. My lips are just opening.
And some crew members complain about persistent headaches.
So yeah, that's the reality of living on more than 4,000 meters.
Tomorrow morning, they will drive the last kilometers to Bazai Gonbad.
It's about 4:30 in the morning, and we're about to leave the Pamir. This side here is going back to the Bacha, and this side is actually strictly forbidden for us to film or to go there after all, because that is the way to China, the way to the Bakhchir Pass.
Vali and the crew are not allowed to travel further than here. On their way, they get stopped by the Taliban, who look through all of their stuff. They were not allowed to go all the way to the border with China. But we got a hold of some first-hand footage anyway. We cannot disclose how. Here we see the view across to the Chinese side of the border. A long green fence cuts through the valley between two mountains lined with little Chinese flags. Behind it lie layer upon layer of barbed wire. On the fence a camera is fixed, and just behind it there's a tiny guard hut. The so-called highway the Taliban built isn't paved, it's a gravel road. This doesn't look like a place where trade is thriving. Vali also mentions spotting construction machinery on the road, but no sign of the busy cross-border highway Afghanistan had hoped for. Is that a reason why they didn't want us filming there? Do they want to hide that there's no thriving trade yet? For Vali, the questions are only just beginning. Vali wants to learn more about...
My bike seat was giving me penile numbness, so I had to get a new one. You know, I'm surprised they have not found a way to make bicycle seats that are more comfortable. Like, they do have those, like, you know, cruiser bikes where they have those big fat seats, but, like, you know, actual bikes that are, you know, like performance bikes. Yeah, they ride your crotch pretty hard.
The impact of the highway on the people that live in the corridor.
Lots of the times the nomads would hang out around here, but now they're on the complete other side of the lake.
So on his way, he stops at two nomadic villages. And he learns life for these Kyrgyz nomads is breathtakingly beautiful, but also brutally unforgiving. The Kyrgyz are a Turkic ethnic group. Most of them live in Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and China, but some settled in the Vakhan corridor. For centuries, the Afghan Kyrgyz moved across Central Asia and were known for raiding Silk Road caravans, the ancient trade route connecting China with the West that the country is trying to revive. Their settlement in the Wakhan corridor started in the 16th century. Throughout the 20th century, Kyrgyz migrated to the Afghan Pamirs, fleeing Soviet and Chinese communist threats and expulsions. In 2021, when the Taliban took over, many Kyrgyz fled across the border to Tajikistan. They sought refuge, but their plea for humanitarian aid went unanswered. So they returned after just 2 weeks. Today, only about 1,000 to 2,000 of them remain in the Afghan Pamir. Living in these high-altitude valleys is tough.
We have reached the nomad camp. It's about 8 families there.
can see in the background these tents. They live here for the summer, and for winter they're gonna move over to the other side of the lake. And yeah, I can notice right away, it's a tough life.
Access to healthcare is limited, and child and maternal mortality rates are high. But the Kyrgyz lifestyle is deeply tied to the land, and despite centuries of political upheaval, they've managed to keep their traditions and language alive. They're nomadic herders. They move
People are really fucking stupid. How in the hell do people end up here? Like, there's better places to live, and then there's, like, people who just go out in the middle of fucking nowhere and live out there.
seasonally with their goats, yaks, and camels and live in yurts.
Ooh, I really like yaks. Yaks are great.
You look tired.
Yeah, I am. I barely got any fucking sleep last night because of the nerve pain I was having in my arms. Like every 30 minutes, my arms would start going numb and then I'd have nerve pain. So like every few minutes I'd just get waken up. And I haven't eaten all day. Had zero food. Because I'm trying to get rid of the water retention, and pretty exhausted. I still did a workout. It wasn't a very good one, but I still worked out too. Thanks for the donation, James. That's not a yak, that's a bison. That's a yak. Yeah, yaks are pretty fucking badass. They are super fast and powerful. I want to be like a yak.
Inside, the space feels cozy. They have colorful rocks on the floor, low beds, and stoves for warmth, making it not just a home, but also a shelter against the brutal weather. For this night, Vali and the crew get to sleep in one of these yurts, experiencing firsthand how the Kyrgyz live high up in the mountains.
So in this village we are now, the water doesn't seem too clean. There's some trash in the river. So we're just walking upstream a few hundred meters, collect some water, and hopefully make it drinkable. Gonna have to boil it, disinfect it. Oh, perfect, looks like chai.
One morning, Vali meets two teachers from Badakhshan. Because of the new road, they can now come here for 5 months every summer to teach the Kyrgyz children.
Time for school?
Definitely gonna make
Inside a small classroom, the kids sit on the floor and are focused on their lesson. One girl is here as well, but the strict rules of the Taliban also apply here in the high valleys of the Wakhan corridor. She may only be allowed to attend school until she's 12 years old. And on his whole trip through Afghanistan, Vali is not allowed to film any women.
In the background, I can see the women milking the yaks. Sadly, I cannot take any images or videos of the women. It's well, strictly prohibited.
The Kyrgyz village leader gives Vali a clear message.
He told me that I can take videos of whatever I want, but not of the women. Which is sad, because first of all, these women are just beautiful with their dresses, their appearance. And it also seems that most of the daily work is done with the women. I mean, milking, cooking, collection of fire dung and making the fire happen, making the tea. I think even the yak herding is partly done by women.
For the Kyrgyz living here, the highway is a game changer. Ajibuto tells Vali that it's opened a connection to the outside world. Before, they were completely cut off from places like Sahat, Kandud, or Ishkashim and had to travel by foot and with their animals.
سابق میگم که سر خشکا و مرکب و اسب و دیگه انتقال میدادیم مواد منو. بعد دیگه این زمستانش راهش بسیار سخت بود، کوتاه بود. زمستان لقای مردم جر میشد میمردی، دیگه بارش میرفتی، تلفات هم زیاد بود.
It was a multiple-week endeavor for them to buy flour.
If you were to stop the roids, would you keep your muscle? Maybe you should use vegan roids.
The steroids I'm on are vegan friendly. They're all vegan, and I'd probably lose some muscle if I were to stop. So I'm gonna just keep taking them. But thanks for the donation, James.
Or for bread.
بعد رو آرد میکردیم، بعد دیگه بار میکردیم یکم 15 روز 16 روز بعد الا در خانه میرسیدیم. اینم یالی پل خدا اینم سرکی که وجا که وصل شده. اینم مدرسه من این روز فعال است. دیگه شبکه داریم که هر جای تماس داریم. دیگه به موجود مکتبم بشنگی کردن حالت خوبتر شده. خیلی سهولت آمده. دیگه چیزی که ضرورتی که داریم که شوز محترمی است. اگر مریضی داریم مریضی منو میتونیم که یعنی مستقل همینجا محتر است در پیزوات و برک انتقال دادن میتونیم.
Now, traders visit regularly with their cars to sell their goods.
Shoes, apples, melons, pasta. More apples, melons, rice. It's a little mobile shop, a little car. It came from Juram, maybe 3 days journey to try and sell their stuff here. It's incredible.
For the Kyrgyz, the highway has brought real, tangible change. But when Vali tries to dig deeper, talking to workers or Taliban officials about the project, he keeps hitting a wall of silence.
Oh my god, you guys see the groundhog?
Vali keeps trying to set up interviews, again and again. At one point, he meets the project manager of the construction company responsible for building the highway. Finally, a chance to get some answers. But when they sit down, the man immediately backs out.
Well, he said he cannot give any interview, he cannot be on video.
Why don't they want us to talk to him? But it doesn't stop there. Vali manages to meet the district head of Wakhan. The atmosphere is tense from the very first minute.
The first question he asked was like, so is your country part of NATO? And so very soon it was clear that there's not going to be an interview, and he also denied us of doing any reporting on the road whatsoever, which is completely different to what we've been told before.
Things just keep getting weirder. Vali manages to arrange an interview with a local tour guide. But as soon as they return, the situation gets tense. A crew member of Vali gets a call. It's from the GDI, the Afghan General Directorate of Intelligence. They tell him, very directly,
that I have to delete all footage of the roads and construction and anything that has machinery on it. What is going on?
What I mean by that is I prefer how you feel and look when you're a little bit slimmer but leaner like you were in your profile picture. You look sexy as hell there. Reminds me of my time in the old gay bars. With young sexy African American men.
I don't know if that's actually James, but yeah, I like being big and jacked as fuck. Thanks for the donation though, James. It's cool to see WWE superstars in the movie, but 50 Cent as the boxer is a thumbs down for me. They could have found a better representation. It's just a silly movie.
For the Taliban, the idea of opening direct trade with China through the narrow Wakhan corridor is a dream. But talk of fully opening the border remains hypothetical. China seems to be cautious. Security is another big concern.
Fears that this could be used by militant groups, by terrorists to enter China.
In the Badakhshan province, militant groups like the East Turkestan Islamic Movement have found shelter. Beijing worries about extremists slipping across the border. It has pushed the Taliban to deal with these threats and protect China's interests. The Taliban point to the newly finished gravel road through the Wakhan corridor as proof of progress. They present it as a highway to the future, a symbol of sovereignty, and a promise of economic revival. But the reality looks different. The road is not practical for heavy trade. And right now, most goods between China and Afghanistan still go by sea through Pakistan's ports in Karachi and then by land.
You have to keep in mind, I mean, the road we traveled on, even 200 miles away from that, was often quite bad. So it would take trucks quite a significant amount of time to travel on that road. If you wanted to turn this region into a transit hub, you probably would need to invest heavily into improving the road that already exists. So it's not just about really extending the road to the border, building out the pass. It is also about the whole infrastructure beyond that.
At least for now, Afghanistan's dream of transforming global trade through the Wakhan corridor remains just that. A dream. Vali and the crew have made it back to Kabul. It has been a remarkable journey. They drove hundreds of kilometers, spoke to countless Afghans. They witnessed the country's incredible beauty, but also its many problems. Soon Vali will board a plane and leave.
That's it. I'm leaving Afghanistan.
Most Afghans can't do that. They remain under the strict
Afghanistan's a shithole.
We trace the internet to ARPANET, a research network built for the U.S. Defense Agency, DARPA. But in the 1960s and 70s, ARPANET was just one of several computer networks operating around the world. And while it had users and cool technical innovations, it was a research tool, and it wasn't growing particularly fast. How did that turn into the capital I internet? We can blame, in part, Japanese supercomputers. In today's video, we explore the Japanese peril that brought us the internet. But first, I want to remind you about the Asianomics Patreon and the Early Access tier. Members get to see new videos first and get the references attached. Early Access directly supports the channel and really helps. Thank you, and on with the show. ARPANET began life in October 1969 as a research-oriented network to connect a few labs and universities. And over the subsequent decade, it remained just that, a research network for trying new networking ideas. It pioneered nifty concepts like packet switching. You can imagine it as like container shipping, but for networking. Data is broken up into small, self-contained packets, like shipping containers, to be sent anywhere around the world. Nifty concept, as I said, and why people believe the network might be able to survive a nuclear attack. But ARPANET was far from the only research network to employ it. Europe, for instance, nurtured several in the 1970s. Donald Davies was one of the independent creators of the packet switching concept. He convinced the UK's National Physics Laboratory, or NPL, to build their own packet-switched network. And over in France, Louis Pouzin and Hubert Zimmermann produced in 1972 a government-funded packet-switched network called Cyclades. Cyclades later connected with NPL's network as part of the larger European informatics network. So nobody can say that the Europeans lagged the Americans in terms of producing innovative networking technology, though I should add that neither packet switch network gained traction due to conflicts with the monopoly telecoms. I think it is important to reiterate that ARPANET also wasn't large, nor was it really expected to be. In late December 1969, it had about 4 operational nodes. By 1976, that had grown to about 63. 5 years later, in 1981, 213 nodes, adding a new one roughly every 20 days or so. Real heart-stopping growth there. And that was because it was a military tool. Access was limited to only those with Department of Defense connections. Though those who did use it used it a lot thanks to its addictive email capabilities. Other online networks were far more popular. For instance, the Bulletin Board Systems, or BBS. Said to have been invented in 1979 by 2 computer hobbyists in Chicago, these were private servers accessed with microcomputers like the Apple II or IBM PC. You attach a modem to your PC and dial into a server via a telephone line. Once in, you can download or upload files or communicate with people via forums. There were tens of thousands of these BBS during the 1980s and early 1990s. And then you had the commercial services, CompuServe, Prodigy, and America Online. They charged people a monthly fee to access their national information network for services like email, online chat rooms, air ticket buying, and even video text. In 1981, the largest and oldest of the 3, CompuServe, reached 10,000 subscribers thanks to a partnership with the retailer Radio Shack. By 1984, they boasted 130,000 subscribers. So, ARPANET, a successful experimental tool with interesting innovations and an addictive email app, but nevertheless a niche thing for a few defense researchers spread out in opposite parts of the country. So what changed? Enter Japan and the supercomputer. There's no precise definition for what makes a supercomputer. In the 1970s, it just meant whatever was the fastest computer then available in the world. like the famous Cray 1 supercomputer and its theoretical peak performance of 160 million floating point operations per second, or flops. Real-world performance, however, was closer to 100 million flops. The category was created and held by American companies like Cray Research and Control Data Corporation. Customers were government labs for running physics simulations in things like aeronautics, or defense labs for weapons design or nuclear energy research, or secret agencies for cryptography. These supercomputers are not easy to make. That, plus their limited market and $10 to $30 million price tag, made them rather niche. But that Cray 1, announced in 1975 and released a year later, sold unexpectedly well, which caught a lot of people's attention. In 1976, MIDI, from Japan, completed a 4-year industrial project with computer makers Hitachi, Fujitsu, NEC, and Oki Electric, called the New Series. New Series focused on producing a computer capable of challenging IBM's System 370. New Series participants studied emitter-coupled logic, a family of high-speed integrated circuits, and concepts relating to vector processing, where a single operation can be performed on multiple data elements. Both innovations can be used for supercomputers. So though New Series was originally intended to challenge IBM, it gave Fujitsu, Hitachi, and NEC the technical expertise to develop their own supercomputers. And for the rest of the decade, the three worked on their entrant products. In 1978, Japan's electronics trade body, the Japan Electronic Industry Development Association, set up a research project. The government was finishing up a joint cooperation effort called the Pattern Information Processing System Project, developing technologies to recognize Japanese writing, audio, and whatnot. But after that ended in 1980, what would be next? The top options involved doing hardware R&D for an advanced supercomputer, the Knowledge Robot Project, or doing software R&D for automatic translation, the Natural Language Information Processing System. Initially, the Japanese leaned towards the translation software project, but several things changed. Takama Yamamoto, a former president of Fujitsu, visited the United States and realized that Japan was behind in computer technology, IBM in particular, and had to improve. So upon returning, Yamamoto switched over and advocated for the supercomputer project, even though the computer makers had only recently completed a hardware R&D project with the New Series. Hitachi, Fujitsu, and NEC, then ramping to enter the supercomputer space, obviously felt that the R&D would be useful. The other participants, Toshiba, Oki, and Mitsubishi, had no plans for supercomputers but felt that any R&D can be easily adapted to ordinary computers. So thus, in October 1981, the Japanese government initiated a national project called the High-Speed Computer System.
Dodo to Nutellers, how long would it take you to get up and take down someone on a plane who's screaming Allah Akbar? Took these people 15 seconds.
Going to bomb the plane! Death to America! Death to Trump! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
I know what you're thinking. That man seems dangerous and violent, but actually, that would be a culturally insensitive assumption. You see, different cultures have different ways of communicating. For example, when he screams, "Death to America," it's really just an expression of dissatisfaction with colonialist imperialism.
I don't know if I'd bother.
For more news and
I have no idea what the hell's going on there. Oh. So that's why he's a Syrian refugee. Wait. He's from Lebanon? I thought he was from Syria. Wait, yeah. Okay, Ahmed al-Ahmed is a Syrian Muslim, father of two. Okay, so this was fact-checked. Okay, so this guy's just a retard. Yeah, okay, whatever. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
System for scientific and technological use, colloquially referred to as the Japanese Super Speed Computer Project, which is too cool of a name to be real, so we just call it the Supercomputer Project. And by the way, I should note that the Supercomputer Project was separate from the 5th Generation Project, a similar-ish sounding but more well-known project launched the following year in 1982. That one focused on knowledge-based AI software systems. Let me first start with a whirlwind tour of the Supercomputer Project's goals and R&D schedules. The project's total budget was 23 billion yen, or $100 million, over 8 years. Newspaper writers in the United States would mistakenly report that the Japanese spent $100 million a year, rather than $100 million in total. The final goal was to produce a very advanced supercomputer capable of 10 billion flops performance 8 years later in 1989. 10 billion would be 100 times that of the Cray 1's 100 million real-world flops. And just in case you're wondering, an NVIDIA B200 today does about 144 quadrillion flops. In the first 5 years, the project would develop 3 very new fundamental device technologies: gallium arsenide, HEMPS, and Josephson junctions. A side effort would develop parallel architecture and software specific to supercomputing. Let me run through the 3 device technologies, starting with gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide is a 3-5 direct bandgap semiconductor material known for its high electron mobility.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this... that's too boring.
Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, Gym Bros? Big Paul here today with another anabolic Q&A. This is... Alright, first question I got up today is from Jose Ba Apera Guerrera. I hope I said that right, Jose. I apologize if I didn't. Jose asked, what's your go-to cycle when Masterbron and Primobolan are limited in supply right now? Yeah, we are in the great Masteron and Primobolan drought of 2025. No end in sight, at least none that I know of. We don't have a lot of other choices at this point. When I put a cycle together, what I like to do is start off with a testosterone and growth hormone base. Those are the 2 bioidentical hormones that probably have the least side effects. We know what the downstream metabolism of those 2 look like in a human body. So that's where we start off. And then we supplement in other things as needed to leverage better effects, growth, mitigate side effects, other things that come along with using those compounds. And right now our choices are very limited. If you want to know how to put a cycle together, I do have my cycle cheat sheet you can pick up on the website for $30. I go into detail about how to put cycles together. But my basic principle is to start with those 2 first, and then I branch out from there. In my tiers of safety when it comes to anabolics, I would put Primobolan and Masteron in the A tier of an adjunct to testosterone and growth hormone. So that's usually where I like to start. But as you pointed out, those are not readily available at this point. The reason why I like Primobolan and Masteron is they both modulate and deal with estrogen side effects. As you push up testosterone, estrogen starts to become a problem. Masteron acts much like a serum, where it blocks the estrogen at a receptor site, at least at the receptor site, at least that's what we understand. And Primobolan seems to act like an aromatase inhibitor, lowering the conversion of testosterone to estradiol. Now, what we're left with at this point, really, the only thing that makes any sense to me to run as an adjunct to the testosterone at this point as a primary anabolic would be equipoise. And equipoise is very potent at modulating estrogen. It is very suppressive. You'll hear some guys out there, I've seen other coaches and other people say that equipoise doesn't lower estrogen. There's no studies that show that. Be that as it may, I've looked at hundreds of blood panels over the years, and every single person that I see, for the most part, there might be some outliers. I would say probably 98% of the people
I don't know how anybody can think that. My E2 levels were 75 picograms per mil on 210 milligrams test. And then I went on Boldenone 200 milligrams, and I upped the test to 350. And my E2 levels were at 28.
look at have very strong lowering of estradiol when using equipoise.
Oh, great. There's YouTube. Fucking, I don't know why it's been doing this lately.
Equipoise, one of the metabolites seems to, I can't remember the name, 1,6 something dione, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, seems to be an aromatase inhibitor. I can't remember the metabolite, one something dione, I don't recall. You can look it up. It also, equipoise reduces to androstenedione and further reduces to estrone and not estradiol predominantly. So some of the reduction in estradiol could be indirectly as a result of that. But regardless, the net result when we look at blood panels is E2 gets very low sometimes when running equipoise aggressively. And equipoise has a very long half-life, so we have to be cautious with how quickly and how much we push equipoise up. There's really no prescribed ratio of equipoise to testosterone, but what I've seen anecdotally is somewhere around half of your testosterone dose is sort of the sweet spot. Sometimes less for some people, sometimes a little bit more, but half will at least with me, pulls me right in range when it comes to my estradiol. So if I'm running 500 testosterone, I will run the equipoise at 200 to 250, maybe even less than half, 40 to 50%, I would say, somewhere in that range. Once again, this is not an exact science. This is just anecdote, what I've seen work. There's no really prescribed ratio, but you just have to play around and see what works for you. I would start off conservative. There is some concern with equipoise when it comes to cardiovascular health and kidney health. There are some studies out there. There's an old study that was done on rabbits that showed equipoise to be directly nephrotoxic. Equipoise also seems to more aggressively raise hemoglobin, red blood cell count, and hematocrit than other antibiotics.
My hematocrit actually went down slightly when I was on equipoise, Boldenone.
In my humble opinion, from what I've seen in my anecdote, it's more aggressive at raising those than anything with the exception of Vanadrol. So if you're prone to high hemoglobin, red blood cell count, and hematocrit, that's something else that you have to be aware of when running equipoise. But really, equipoise is the only choice that we have left to modulate estrogen with when running a testosterone and GH base. The other option would be to throw nandrolone at it. That would be the other one that I see in the B tier. But the problem with nandrolone is nandrolone seems to do the exact opposite. It upregulates aromatase expression and just makes estradiol conversion worse. Now, what the old school bodybuilders did, and back in the early 2000s, we didn't understand things as much as we did now. Guys would run a combination of testosterone, equipoise, and a little bit of nandrolone. DECA or DECA back then, but now DECA and MPP, maybe a little bit of D-ball. But, so probably what was going on is the DECA was balancing out a little bit of the suppressive effects of the equipoise when it comes to estradiol, or either or, however, which way you want to look at it. But they worked together synergistically to keep estradiol in range. I am not a huge fan of nandrolone at this point. It causes me all sorts of issues when it comes to anxiety, to sleep, to my mood. I get a lot of side effects. It seems to be the one thing that triggers gyno in me at this point. So I stay away from it for the most part. But really, we don't have a lot left to choose from. That's about it. You could just run test in GH and see what you can get away with. And if your estrogen gets out of control, you can run an aromatase inhibitor. You could throw equipoise at it to use as an additional anabolic that's going to modulate estrogen when estrogen gets out of control. There's really no other. I guess that you can make an argument to run nandrolone only cycles, but I've tried that before. That shit will just make you fucking lose your mind after a while. And I don't think it's healthy for you because you do need some DHT conversion and some estrogen conversion. And synthetic progestins do really weird things in a man's body. And all these dudes that run these 19 nor DECA only cycles, if you look at them down the road, they end up usually losing their fucking marbles. They all end up going nuts and getting paranoid and having anxiety and just cardiovascular problems.
Yeah, what was his name? John Skywalker. He'd run 19 nor only cycles, and he has severe heart failure right now. He also did a lot of party drugs and shit. So that definitely didn't help, but yeah.
All this stuff. So I would probably stay away from that as an option. Same thing with oral only cycles, and not a viable option in my opinion. All right, next question we have up. All right, last question is from the School Anabolic Bodybuilding Members Community from Ryan T. Ryan asks, how can you tell if GH is really working? what physical changes or blood markers confirm the effectiveness, especially when comparing UGL to pharma-grade HGH. I just really don't see any fake UGL GH running around anymore. I think that's been overstated. In fact, some of the UGL GH I've run into recently or heard people talking about is probably overdosed. Guys are having nasty side effects from it. I mean, side effects that you can look out for, and not everybody gets them, and side effects are not indicative of effectiveness. So don't let that be what you use as your measuring stick. But people get numb hands from the carpal tunnel, water retention, sleepiness, all of these things that happen from GH. But not everybody gets that. If you don't get those side effects, it doesn't mean that it's not real. It's not working. Blood markers, I know some guys will use IGF-1 as an indicator, but it's really a poor one for HGH, whether or not your HGH is any good. IGF-1 levels can be affected by many things. I mean, shit, if you're on a low carb diet,
I remember Lazar
that alone can make your IGF-1 low. If you have low estrogen, your IGF-1 can be low. So that doesn't mean that the HGH is ineffective. The only effective blood marker that I know that you can do is you can take your GH 2 to 3 hours before your blood work. It takes about 2 or 3 hours for growth hormone to peak, and you can get your serum growth hormone levels checked and see if those are high. Probably the simpler thing would be to just send your HGH off for lab testing and see if it's actually real if you're concerned about that. And really, HGH is a slow burn. You don't really notice it when you're on it. It's a slow burn. It takes time. There's small effects over a long period of time that happen with growth hormone. It's not like something that you just say, we wake up one day and I'm like, damn, I'm on HGH. It's not like running trend. When you're on trend, you fucking know you're on trend. When you run D-ball, you know you're on D-ball. It's not like either one of those. There's no...
I think it might be a good idea now to try to get some sleep. I basically have gotten, no sleep, so I'm gonna try sleeping. Hopefully I can. I flushed out a lot of the water retention today. So hopefully I can lie down and not have any pain. But yeah, I might try not eating tomorrow as well. And we'll see if that helps. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. We'll watch Chubimo tomorrow. I'm gonna try sleeping. I don't have access to a sauna. So yeah. I'll try to get on a bit earlier tomorrow. But thanks again, everybody. Hope you all have sweet dreams, and I will see you all tomorrow, and hopefully I will be in better sorts. But take care.